Chapter 2246. Bai Qinghong glared at Bai Xia and said with a cold snort, "What? Don't tell me you want to force me to stay." Bai Xia rolled up his sleeves and laughed a few times. He said, "Red-headed woman, you should be clear about my strength. If I want to keep you here, it's as easy as flipping my hand." Bai Qinghong immediately took out a red gigantic axe and carried it on her shoulder. With one hand on her waist, she shouted fiercely, "White blind, if you want to stop me, then I'll die with you. Yo, you're really not afraid of death. This makes me have a whole new level of respect for you." Bai Xia also pulled out his sword and said with a sneer, "Not to mention you alone, even if there were 10 of you, you wouldn't be able to last 2 moves against me." Bai Xia is at the heavenly god realm. His divine power is very strong, close to the sacred god realm. In comparison, Bai Qinghong is far inferior. Although she's also at the heavenly god realm, she is only at the middle stage. Bai Xia is at the late stage of the heavenly god realm. There is a huge difference. In addition, Bai Qinghong has been researching that magic all day, which has wasted a lot of her time and energy. "Xiaoyun, you leave first. Big sister can take care of him," Bai Qinghong said. "Don't be afraid. With Big Sister here, he won't dare do anything to you." Although Bai Qinghong was very carefree, she was very loyal and had a kind of heroic spirit among women. Bai Xia glanced at Qin Yun and said with a sneer, "This is your little brother? Red-headed woman, you're good. You tricked such a little guy to be your little brother. White blind, let him go." Bai Qinghong also does not want to implicate Qin Yun. "Let him go? No way. Unless you return my white sun, divine crystal." Bai Xia chuckled and said, "Otherwise, both of you will suffer physical pain today." "You?" Bai Qinghong glared at Bai Xia fiercely and said angrily, "You clearly lost to me. You can't afford to lose. Not only did you not give me 10,000 white sun divine crystals, you even want to bite me back. How can you be so shameless?" Bai Qinghong also knows that the person in front of her is her half-brother. She felt uncomfortable all over when she thought that she was related by blood to such a brother. "Cut the crap. You only have 2 choices. Either you give me the white sun divine crystal, or you get beaten up," Bai Xia said. The middle-aged shopkeeper stood behind him, not daring to say a word. Qin Yun was very calm because Bai Xia was nothing to him. He was only thinking about how to deal with Bai Xia. After all, Bai Xia was Bai Qiangshu's son, so he couldn't be too heavy-handed. This could be considered giving Bai Qiangshu some face. If he went easy on Bai Xia, Qin Yun was worried that he had not taught Bai Xia a sufficient lesson. This put him in a difficult position. After thinking about it, he still decided to act according to the situation. Even if he hit hard, it would be fine. It would be good to teach this white hero a deep lesson. Bai Qinghong said solemnly, "Xiaoyun, go out. If he tries to stop you, I will stop him. Don't be afraid. Even if I have to risk my life, I will definitely let you leave safely." "Ha ha ha. Red-headed woman, did you see that? Your little brother is scared stiff. He doesn't dare to react at all. He can only stand there in a daze. I'm afraid that even if I told him to leave, he wouldn't dare leave." Bai Xia said, "If you want me to leave, I will." Qin Yun said indifferently, "Io, are you forcing yourself to calm down?" When Bai Xia saw the young Qin Yun speak, he laughed loudly. "All right, I'll let you leave. Quickly leave." Qin Yun really took a step forward and walked towards the door. However, just as he took a few steps, Bai Xia's sword moved horizontally and blocked Qin Yun's path. He laughed loudly and said, "Little demon, I told you to leave, so you really want to leave? I was just messing with you, huh?" Qin Yun is expressionless. He glanced at Bai Xia and then tightened his palm. Like a palm blade, he condensed a very violent, absolute, yang divine power. After he turned into a young boy, his palm also became much smaller. At this moment, he suddenly raised it and chopped down. The aura that erupted out is as terrifying as a peerless divine saber. Ho! An extremely powerful gale burst out, whistling and exploding. Qin Yun slightly used the Heaven Annihilation 9 Styles Heaven Berserk style. He used his palm as a blade and chopped it Bai Xia's sword. Rumble. The explosion was like thunder. The entire VIP lounge trembled. The tables, chairs, and murals inside were all shattered. The walls of the VIP lounge cracked from the impact of the aura just now. The sword in Bai Xia's hand was also heavily struck by Qin Yun and fell to the ground, embedding itself into the floor. As for Bai Xia's hand, it trembled in pain. His face is filled with shock. The middle-aged shopkeeper and Bai Qinghong are also greatly frightened. Their expressions changed greatly, especially Bai Qinghong. Her beautiful eyes are wide open as she looked at Qin Yun in disbelief. She did not believe her mother's words before, but now she believes it. Her mother did not lie to her. This young man is truly an expert. This sword is not bad. It didn't break. Qin Yun looked at the sword on the ground and picked it up. Bai Xia stood there, not daring to move. He is very clear about how terrifying Qin Yun's divine power is. He also finds it hard to believe. Qin Yun's divine power aura only has the characteristics of Xian divine power, and the divine power auras of Great God Realm, Heavenly God Realm, and Saint God Realm all have obvious characteristics and are very easy to distinguish. However, Qin Yun's Xian divine power is so ferocious. Just like that, under Bai Xia's eyes, Qin Yun stored the white sword into his storage magic tool and then looked at Bai Xia. When Bai Xia made contact with Qin Yun's seemingly calm but hidden gaze, he could not help but shiver and his body trembled slightly. "Give me the scabbard," Qin Yun said. Bai Xia clenched his teeth and actually threw the scabbard over. Qin Yun's aura is too strong, so strong that Bai Xia does not dare to resist. Qin Yun said, "Give me that sword. Not if you agree." Bai Xia hurriedly nodded. Following that, Qin Yun looked at the middle-aged shopkeeper and said, "Take out all the medicinal ingredients that Sister Qinghong ordered and give them to her." The middle-aged shopkeeper is also extremely afraid because the strength that the youth displayed just now was enough to fight against the sacred god. This 20,000 white sun divine crystals. The middle-aged shopkeeper said in a low voice. He also threw a storage bag to Bai Qinghong. "Count on Bai Xia's head." Qin Yun looked at Bai Xia and asked, "Do you admit it?" "Yes, yes." Bai Xia hurriedly nodded. She is as timid as a dog. Thank you very much. Goodbye," Qin Yun said indifferently. Then, he gave Bai Qinghong a look, indicating for her to follow him. Bai Qinghong put away the axe on her shoulder and quickly walked behind Qin Yun. She followed him out of the VIP lounge. Just now, Bai Qinghong was completely dumbfounded. This was blatantly robbing the pharmacy, and this pharmacy belonged to the Prince Yu's mansion. Although Bai Qinghong is usually quite mischievous, she never expected that this young man would be even more excessive than her. Not only did he snatch Bai Xia's good sword, he even put the medicinal ingredients on Bai Xia's head. After Qin Yun and Bai Qinghong left, Bai Xia's entire body went limp and she sat on the ground. "Young master, by this? Is this considered a robbery?" the middle-aged shopkeeper asked in fear. "Why not? That damn brat and the red-headed woman. I won't let them off." Bai Xia regained his confidence and said in a deep voice, "Shopkeeper, don't report this matter to the Wang mansion. I'll take care of it. I'll bring people to find the red-headed woman." "Yes, sir." The shopkeeper did not dare to make this matter public. He was worried that it would infuriate Bai Xia. Bai Xia is so scared that his entire body is drenched in cold sweat. Because just now, he felt as if he was about to die. To be able to give him this kind of feeling, not only is he powerful, he is also someone who has taken many lives. This is also the reason why Bai Xia admitted defeat earlier. Although he is usually arrogant, when it is time to be afraid, he will still be afraid. After all, his life is more important. Bai Xia is filled with anger as he hastily left the pharmacy. Qin Yun and Bai Qinghong returned to the small red building in the residential area. Along the way, Bai Qinghong did not dare to speak because she truly believes that this young man is a very powerful person. In addition, she was very vigilant and nervous along the way. She was worried that Bai Xia would bring people to chase after them. Only after returning to her own house did Bai Qinghong feel a lot more at ease. "Xiaoyan, you are so awesome. Could it be that you are not a child?" Bai Qinghong looked at Qin Yun and said in low voice, "Don't tell me you are an old guy. You are clearly an old guy, but you call me big sister. Aren't you calling me old? I am at a bit of a disadvantage." Qin Yun said with smile, "Sister Qinghong, just treat me as a young man." Bai Qinghong said, "Are you really an expert? How can I be considered an expert?" Qin Yun said with smile, "A very powerful person." Bai Qinghong thought that Qin Yun is very approachable and relaxed a lot. She said with a smile, "It seems like you really are an otherworldly expert who hides himself deeply. How about this? We go and rob that blind man again. He will come knocking on our door very soon." Qin Yun shook his head and smiled. "All right, when the time comes, we will rob him again. I really didn't expect that the son taught by my dead old man father would actually have this kind of virtue. I really don't want to recognize him." Bai Qinghong stomped her feet. A special woman like Bai Qinghong is quite famous in this area. After all, her red attire is very unusual. Therefore, Bai Xia came to find them very quickly. Qin Yun and Bai Qinghong returned for more than an hour, and Bai Xia brought more than a dozen people to find them. Most of them are middle-aged people. There are also 2 old men among them. With a single glance, one can tell that these 2 old men have profound cultivation and profound power. They arrived at Bai Qinghong's small building and directly broke the door and entered. Then they surrounded Qin Yun and Bai Qinghong inside the living room. Bai Qinghong saw that these people are all very strong. There are even heavenly saints and gods. "Brat, return my sword to me first, then I will settle the debt with you just now." After Bai Xia arrived, he took out a very large chair and sat down. In this group of people, he was the only one sitting, which made him feel like a boss. He brought enough people. Moreover, there are 2 sacred god realm old men, so Bai Xia's confidence has increased a lot. "I don't know you anything. Please leave," Qin Yun said. Chapter 22:47. Seeing Qin Yun's attitude, Bai Xia is a bit afraid in his heart. But thinking about the 2 formidable sacred god elders behind him, he immediately sat up straight and said with imposing expression, "Brat, a great calamity is upon you. You still dare to be arrogant here? Quickly return my sword to me, and this young master will let you go." Bai Qinghong also saw the 2 formidable sacred god elders, so she has no confidence in Qin Yun. She is worried that Qin Yun won't be able to handle them, so she promptly took out her red battle axe. She placed the battle axe on her shoulder. This will make her look more domineering and increase her imposing manner. "Bai Xia, this matter is clearly your fault. As the son of City Master Bai, you shouldn't use the City Master's position to act like a tyrant. You will affect him." Bai Qinghong said, "Red-headed woman, this young master is very low profile. I never told anyone that I am the City Master's son. Did I say that when you saw me last time?" Bai Xia said with sneer. "It is because you bullied people intolerably that I had no choice but to bring up my father." Bai Xia doesn't dare to fight back because his sword is still in Qin Yun's hand. That sword is very precious. If he loses it, his father will beat the shit out of him. Qin Yun also knows that the sword is very powerful. It is not an ordinary item. That is why he deliberately snatched it away. This way Bai Xia will have some misgivings. "If you want your sword back, it is not a problem. Let your father personally come and take it," Qin Yun said. "My father is the city master. He is very busy. How could he have time to meet a small character like you?" Bai Xia said with sneer, "Brat, if you don't return my sword, I will attack." Qin Yun's expression suddenly sank. Although he looks like a young boy, his expression is filled with fearsome ferocity. Combined with his heavenly eye, this kind of heavenly Tao ferocious aura is extremely terrifying. Bai Xia cannot help but feel scared when he is being stared at by Qin Yun. He forced himself to remain calm and said, "I brought 2 sacred gods. If you have the guts, then attack me again." Qin Yun coldly swept the 2 sacred gods and said, "You 2 should be the city master subordinates. Can you inform the city master to come over?" "No," an old man said. "You are not worthy to see the city lord." Another old man sneered and said, "Forget about you. Even for us, it's very difficult to meet the city lord. Not only is the city lord powerful, He is also a very powerful inscription master. Many people have requests from him, so it is as difficult as ascending to the heavens to meet him. White Hero sneered, "Brat, do you know how powerful my father is now? Even the old seniors of the Saint God realm couldn't meet him easily, but I can arrange for them to meet my father." It was also because of this that Bai Xia could summon these seniors. Qin Yin frowned. He felt that the lesson he had given Bai Xia was not enough. It was mainly because he had not been heavy-handed. At this moment, he had to teach Bai Xia a lesson. Otherwise, he wouldn't be completely afraid. "Young Master Bai, for the sake of City Lord Bai, I'll give you a chance. If you leave this house, you'll be spared from physical pain." Qin Yin said coldly, "I should be the one saying those words to you. If you return the sword to me and apologize to me, you'll be spared from physical pain." Bai Xia said loudly. Qin Yin suddenly took a step forward and arrived in front of Bai Xia. His sudden attack caught those people unprepared. By the time those two powerful Saint God old men reacted, they saw Qin Yin's palm is already pressing on Bai Xia's abdomen. "Oh!" Bai Xia immediately screamed miserably. Qin Yin poured unending stream of suffering divine ability power into Bai Xia's body, bringing incomparably unbearable pain to his body and soul. "Save me!" Bai Xia shouted loudly. "Don't move, otherwise I will directly shatter his life crystal." Qin Yin shouted in deep voice. "Don't move, don't move." Bai Xia is scared to death. He screamed miserably in pain. If his life crystal shatters, it will take him a very long time to cultivate again. Qin Yin said in cold voice, "Quickly call the city lord over. If he doesn't come, the pain he will suffer will not end." Bai Xia promptly took out a jade pendant and threw it to an old man. He shouted loudly, "Quickly call my father over." That Saint God realm old man promptly took the jade pendant and left in a hurry to find Bai Qiangshu. Other people don't dare to leave. They stayed here to ensure that Bai Xia won't be killed. Those two Saint God realm old men also realized that the youth in front of them is not simple at all. Just now Qin Yin suddenly appeared in front of Bai Xia. That kind of movement technique is too brilliant. They were unable to guard against it. The most important thing is that kind of courage. Even in a situation where he is surrounded, he still dared to suddenly attack. Moreover, as soon as he attacked, Bai Xia, the city lord's son, lost the ability to resist. Bai Qinghong is standing at the back and watching in a daze. She once again admired Qin Yin. Facing two powerful Saint Gods, he is not the least bit afraid and even dared to attack and torture Bai Xia. The pain Bai Xia is suffering now is the most painful experience he has ever experienced. The pain he experienced during this period of time is several times more than all the pain he experienced since he was a child. It can be said that he will never forget it for the rest of his life. Half an hour passed. Bai Xia's voice is hoarse like a duck, but the pain is making him cry nonstop. It is a pain that comes from both the soul and the body. The people watching from the side all felt their scalps go numb. Although they don't know what kind of pain Bai Xia is suffering, they are afraid of Qin Yin. At this time, an old man shouted, "The city lord is here. My father is here. You are finished." Bai Xia's tears turned into laughter, and he shouted loudly. The white-haired and white-bearded Bai Qiangshu suddenly walked in. He saw the red building from afar and knew that it is Bai Qinghong's house. Thinking of the things that the Saint God realm old man said, he knew that his son provoked Bai Qinghong and Qin Yin. Seeing Bai Qiangshu arrive, Qin Yin immediately stopped. After Qin Yin stopped, Bai Xia frantically crawled away from the large chair and shouted, "Quickly take him down! Quickly take him down!" Those two Saint God realm old men and the other dozen or so middle-aged heavenly gods all mobilized their powerful divine power and prepared to attack. "All of you stop!" Bai Qiangshu shouted loudly, causing the entire building to tremble. Those people are so scared that they don't dare to act blindly without thinking. "Father, I'm going to be tortured to death by him. That little demon is very strange. Not only did he steal my sword, he also wants to torture me." Bai Xia cried while lying on the ground. Qin Yin took out the beautiful white scabbard sword and handed it over. "City Lord Bai, this is a good sword. You must take good care of it. Hearing Qin Yun's words, everyone is stunned because it seems like Qin Yun knows Bai Qiangshu. Bai Qiangshu's expression became extremely unsightly, seeing his son being so disgraced. But seeing Qin Yun return the sword, his face is filled with smile. He walked over and said with smile, "Little brother Qin, I am usually very busy and did not discipline my son enough. If I have offended you in any way, please forgive me. I will apologize on your behalf. This brat will apologize to you." The White Sun Sky City Lord is actually so respectful to a little youth. This made Bai Xia and those two Saint God Realm old men suddenly think of something. Only the descendants of those experts in the Wang Mansion can make Bai Qiangshu lower his attitude. This little youth is from the Wang Mansion? Bai Xia felt despair in his heart. He never expected that he would actually provoke someone from the Wang Mansion. Others may not know, but he, Bai Xia, is very clear that those people from the Wang Mansion are very arrogant. Therefore, Bai Xia did not dare to expose his father's identity as the city lord because he was worried that he would kick the iron plate that is the Wang Mansion. He knew that the red-headed woman Bai Qinghong does not have any backing. He also thought that the little youth beside her should be a lackey or something. After all, his cultivation is not high. But no matter how much he thought about it, he didn't expect that it would be someone with a strong background. Damn thing, quickly admit your mistake. Bai Qiangshu walked over and ruthlessly kicked Bai Xia. Bai Xia promptly crawled in front of Qin Yun, kowtowed and shouted, "Sir, I know I was wrong." Bai Xia said a long string of apologies. He is now extremely afraid. Not only did he apologize to Qin Yun, he also apologized to Bai Qinghong. "Bring him back," Bai Qiangshu said. "Next time, don't mess around with this brat. How many times have I told you? You must learn to keep a low profile in White Yang Heavenly City. Consider yourself lucky this time." Bai Xia regarded Qin Yun as a noble of the Wang Mansion. Not to mention him, even his father, the city lord, is suppressed by the Wang Mansion. After Bai Xia was taken away, Bai Qiangshu apologized to Qin Yun again. Bai Qinghong did not believe that Qin Yun's inscription level is higher than Bai Qiangshu's. Now she believes it. "Where's my mother?" Bai Qinghong asked. "Granny Tang went to look for you. Is she not with you?" Qin Yun also promptly asked. "She was injured. The person who did it has a great background. I can't afford to offend them, so I could only save her." Speaking of this matter, Bai Qiangshu's expression became incomparably grave. Qin Yun's expression changed. Anger rose in his heart. He immediately thought of Zhang Anxiao and Fan Linghui. The Fan family behind Fan Linghui is extremely powerful. Even the city lord has to give them face. In White Yang Heavenly City, someone who dared to directly attack Granny Tang must have a great backer. "Who injured my mother? I'll kill him." Bai Qinghong shouted in anger. "Is it the Fan family?" Qin Yun pulled Bai Qinghong's hand to calm her down. "I know that Fan Linghui is her enemy, but Fan Linghui's position in the Fan family is not high. She shouldn't be able to get the Fan family to attack." Bai Qiangshu shook his head and said, "The person who attacked is wearing a mask. They are all very arrogant. They all have the Wang Mansion's command medallion." Qin Yun said coldly, "Granny Tang is my friend. No matter who attacked her, I won't let her off. I suspect that it was the Fan family who attacked her. There is a faction of the Wang Mansion supporting them from behind. The reason why the Fan family helped Fan Linghui to deal with Tang's sister, it means that Tang's sister has something they're looking for," Bai Qiangshu said solemnly. Chapter 2248. Prince White's son and Xiao Yuanmei went into seclusion together, and now they have come out. Qin Yun feels that Xiao Yuanmei will come to find him very soon. Now that Granny Tang was being attacked, the attacker must have a close relationship with the Wang family. The powers within the king's mansion were very complicated. Even Bai Qiangshu didn't know much about them. Furthermore, it involved the upper echelons of the king's mansion, so Bai Qiangshu didn't dare to investigate. With Xiao Yuanmei's help, it will be a lot more convenient for Qin Yun. Qin Yun and Bai Qinghong sat in King White Sun's carriage and arrived at a very large building. This place is a bit far from the king mansion. This tall building was Bai Qiangshu's own property. As a city lord, he had his own business, so it was not surprising that he owned such a tall building. After Qin Yun and Bai Qing Hong entered the building, they thought that they would go to a very high floor. They did not expect that Bai Qiangshu would actually bring them to the underground floor. There were more than 20 underground floors beneath the building. Granny Tang is very well protected here. Bai Qiangshu himself is a very powerful inscription master. The formation barrier he set up is also very strong. It will not be easy to break through. On top of that, there were many experts here. Even if the people who attacked Granny Tang knew she was here, they wouldn't dare to attack rashly. If this matter were to be blown up and reported to White Sun King, the consequences would definitely be severe. Granny Tang's injuries weren't light. After she ate some pills, her haggard face regained some color. She was lying on the bed, her aura very weak. Beside her were a few women and an old female alchemist looking after her. Mother! Bai Qing Hong entered the room. Seeing her mother like this, she felt sad and angry. Lass, I'm fine. Seeing that Bai Qing Hong was safe, Granny Tang felt a lot more at ease. She was worried that those people would make a move on Bai Qing Hong. After Bai Qiangshu let the others leave, he said with a grave expression, Sister Tang, just who did you provoke? Originally, Granny Tang had gone to find Bai Qiangshu to discuss the matter of them reuniting as father and daughter. However, after being ambushed, Granny Tang had been seriously injured and hadn't had the time to speak. I don't know who attacked me. Granny Tang shook her head. It's a complicated matter. Let's talk about it after I've recovered. At this time, Qin Yun also consciously walked out of the room, letting the family have a good talk inside. The alchemist and the other women were waiting outside. After Qin Yun came out, he greeted them and asked about Granny Tang's injuries. The old woman said, that kind of injury is very strange. There's a very strange kind of divine power aura and also an extremely strong lightning power. I can't tell what it is. Qin Yun immediately thought of the magic Bai Qing Hong was learning. The ones who came to find Granny Tang were probably from the Magic Academy of the Heavenly Law Pavilion. The power they used should be magic. Qin Yun had come into contact with magic before, so he knew that this kind of magic had special divine power. It was stronger than the divine power cultivated by most ordinary people. That was one of the scarier aspects of magic. While Qin Yun and the old woman were talking, he suddenly sensed a familiar aura approaching. Someone was coming. The person who came is a handsome man with a head full of elegant long hair. Furthermore, he is wearing white luxurious clothes. This man is the white hero who was tortured by Qin Yun earlier. Bai Xia came by himself. After he saw Qin Yun, he let out a strange cry and quickly turned around, wanting to escape. Wait, Qin Yun shouted. Expert, please spare me. I really know my wrongs. Bai Xia shouted with a bitter expression. The old woman and the other women all know that Bai Xia is the youngest son of the city master Bai Qiangshu. Therefore, when they saw Bai Xia, they all saluted him. However, the youngest son of the city master is now so afraid of a young boy. What are you doing here? Are you here to find your father? How did you know he is here? Qin Yun asked. The shopkeeper above told me. I just came to discuss something with my father. Bai Xia saw Qin Yun's calm expression and felt a lot more relieved. He quickly replied. Qin Yun laughed and asked, have you recovered well? Bai Xia also revealed a trace of smile and quickly said, this is all because Expert was lenient. He didn't injure me. He just made me suffer a bit. Qin Yun said, what do you want to discuss with your father? Is it important? Bai Xiao's expression is somewhat awkward. He said in low voice, Expert, I want to borrow that sword from my father. I'm going to participate in a gathering. I want that sword to put on a show. I can't let others look down on me. Qin Yun found it funny in his heart. This Bai Xia is the same as his father. They both love face very much. If you don't use that sword, you'll be looked down upon by others. This is your own inadequacy. You should improve your own inadequacy and not rely on external objects. Qin Yun said, yes. Expert is right. I will definitely change in the future, but isn't the situation urgent now? Not long after that, White Sun Island Master and his fan family's concubine returned. They held a gathering. There are also a group of young masters from the Wang Mansion. Even people from the Heavenly Law Pavilion came. This is a very high-level gathering. Bai Xia sighed and said, "They invited me. How can I not go?" The old woman at the side asked doubtfully, "White Sun Island Master? He can invite the young masters from the Long Mansion. Even the youngsters from the Heavenly Law Pavilion came?" Bai Xia hurriedly nodded and said, "I also think it's strange. That's why I want to go and take a look. This is an opportunity to make friends with those people. I can't miss it." Qin Yun's eyes flickered as he calculated in his heart. Soon after, Bai Xia mysteriously said, "I heard that there's also a mysterious big shot from the Wang Mansion. I suspect that it is very likely that Princess Yuanmei will come." "Who said that?" Qin Yun is alarmed and asked, "Expert, are you from the Wang Mansion?" Bai Xia asked in low voice, "Didn't you get any news?" "I'm not from the Wang Mansion," Qin Yun answered truthfully and said with smile, "but I know Princess Yuanmei." "Ah, is this true?" Bai Xia said in astonishment. The few women and old woman beside her also revealed expressions of astonishment. When Qin Yun saw their expressions, he knew that Xiao Yuanmei's status must be very high. "Bai Xia, when you attend the gathering, bring me along." Qin Yun patted his shoulder and said, "I'll have your father bring that sword to you." "That's great. Thank you, big brother." Bai Xia promptly bowed and said, "I will definitely bring big brother along." At this moment, Bai Qiangshu opened the door and saw that Qin Yun and Bai Xia are outside. Moreover, they are chatting happily. He immediately felt a lot more relieved. Qin Yun and Bai Xia also entered the door. Bai Qiangshu looks very happy because he finally recognized his daughter. He has been taking care of Bai Qinghong for a long time, and in his heart, he rather likes this unconventional woman. Little brother Bai Xia greets big sister. After Bai Xia entered, he promptly bowed and saluted Bai Qinghong. He doesn't know that he is Bai Qinghong's older brother. He is so respectful towards Bai Qinghong because of Qin Yun. It can be seen that Bai Xia is completely terrified. Bai Qinghong crossed her arms over her chest and coolly stood there. She looked at Bai Xia in a rather domineering manner, nodded and said, "No need to be overly courteous. Let's write off our previous grudges. Many thanks for big sister's forgiveness. Little brother can't thank you enough." Bai Xia promptly said with smile, "Bai Xia, this is Qinghong's mother. She is also my old lover. Therefore, this girl Qinghong is my biological daughter. She can be considered your little sister." Bai Qiangshu said with mischievous smile. "What?" Bai Xia opened his eyes wide and looked at Bai Qinghong. He really did not expect that this red-headed woman is actually his little sister. And just now, he called Bai Qinghong big sister. This made him feel incomparably embarrassed. "Since you like to call me big sister, then I will be your big sister from now on. I don't mind being called old by you." Bai Qinghong laughed loudly and said, This. Bai Xia suddenly feels that he has lost several hundred million. He clearly belongs to his big brother. Bai Xia knows that Qin Yun cares a lot about Bai Qinghong, so he can only cower. His face is filled with smile, and he said, "Big sister, as long as you are happy, little brother doesn't care. City Lord Bai, he is going to participate in a gathering. Give him the sword first." Qin Yun said, "What gathering?" Bai Qiangshu promptly asked. "A rather large high-end gathering." Qin Yun said with smile, "I will go with him." Bai Qiangshu immediately took out the sword and handed it over to Bai Xia. He also warned him a few words. After all, his son is going out to show his face. Naturally, he can't be too shabby. Having a powerful divine sword will give him a lot of face. "White Sun King has summoned us. I want to go to his mansion." Bai Qiangshu said, "I will stay here to accompany my mother." Bai Qinghong said, "Sister Qinghong, I plan to take you to that gathering. Won't you come?" Qin Yun said because people from Heaven Law Pavilion and Devil Court might come. Bai Qinghong studies magic. Maybe she could discover something. "My mother is injured. I want to accompany her." Bai Qinghong stuck out her tongue and said with charming smile, "Xiao Yun, if there's a chance, let's go together." "All right." Qin Yun nodded, then patted Bai Xia's shoulder and said, "Third young master, let's go." Just like this, Qin Yun, Bai Xia, and Bai Qiangshu left the underground floor together. Bai Qiangshu rushed to the mansion. Qin Yun and Bai Xia continued to stay in the building. The gathering was tonight, and it was to be held in a restaurant owned by the Fan family. After Qin Yun and Bai Xia dressed up, they boarded a carriage and headed towards the west side of White Sun Heaven City. That side is the Fan family's power. Qin Yun is wearing a white inscription master robe. It doesn't match his young appearance. Big brother, what is your background? My father seems to be very afraid of you. Bai Xia very curiously said. I am from Myriad Heaven, Divine Desolate. I am an inscription master, Qin Yun said with smile. Myriad Heaven, Divine Desolate? I heard that many great powers of God World and Heaven Law Pavilion who entered Heavenly Law Universe want to join hands to break Heavenly Law Universe's barrier, then rush out and enter Myriad Heaven Divine Desolate. Bai Xia hastily said. Chapter 2249. White Sun Divine World's overall strength is not weak. If they were to be placed in Divine Desolate, they might be as strong as at least 2 ancient races. In the Heavenly Law Universe, there were quite a few such colossal existences. In addition to the Heavenly Law Pavilion, if they were to join forces and attack the various powers in the Deity Desolate Land, a great war would definitely break out. Big brother, how strong is Divine Desolate? Are they all as strong as you? Bai Xia said worriedly. I don't want to be enemies with you. If we fight, I will hide far away. Qin Yun said, don't worry, they won't fight. Divine Desolate is very big. It is enough to accommodate other powers of Heavenly Law Universe. Really? How big is it? Heavenly Law Universe has a total of 6 Divine Worlds people. Adding Heavenly Law Pavilion, there are 7 factions. Is Divine Desolate enough? Bai Xia asked. Forget about 7 factions. Even 70 factions are enough. You will know when you go to Divine Desolate. Qin Yun said with smile. Divine Desolate has always been growing, constantly becoming bigger and bigger. It can be said that it is boundless. Even the primordial clans in the Divine Desolate Heavens didn't know how big the Divine Desolate Heavens was. Qin Yun is not at all worried that Divine Desolate will be forcibly occupied by Heavenly Law Universe's factions because they can't occupy such a big Divine Desolate. Furthermore, there must be even more powerful races inside Divine Desolate. It is just that they have not come into contact with them yet, so they don't know of their existence. Qin Yun also knows that there is a very powerful mysterious race hidden inside Myriad Realms' Divine Sunland. That is the most dreadful thing. Bai Xia sighed and said, Heavenly Law Universe is fine. I really didn't expect it to be destroyed. I hope it is just a rumor. Heavenly Law Universe should have a core that provides energy to the entire blue sky universe. Qin Yun said, Do you have any information about this core? Bai Xia shook her head and said, I don't know about this. White Sun Prince should know. Oh, that's right. Have you heard of Xinyu Tianlong? Qin Yun also doesn't know what Xinyu Tianlong is doing outside. Is he still guarding the entrance? Xinyu Tianlong is from the Heavenly Law Pavilion's Dragon Hall. Of course I've heard of him. He is a famous expert. Our White Sun King once fought with Xinyu Tianlong. Bai Xia was rather proud when he talked about this. Why is King White Sun fighting Xinyu Tianlong? Asked Qin Yun. Duke White Sun is now Xiao Yuamei's godmother. Qin Yun also wants to know more about Duke White Sunday. I heard this from my grandfather. My grandfather is very old. He said that White Sun King wanted to obtain an item from Heavenly Law Pavilion. So he and Xinyu Tianlong fought over it. In the end, it seems like he also managed to snatch it. Bai Xia said. Qin Yun also planned on asking Xinyu Tianlong in the future what it was that made King White Sun snatch it. Are you going to let Xinyu Sky Dragon off just like that after his item was snatched? Said Qin Yun with a smile. Is Xinyu Sky Dragon that gentle? White Hero shook his head and said, That's not it. It's mainly because Xinyu Tianlong is no match for our White Sun Monarch. Furthermore, that thing was taken away by Heaven Law Pavilion from our White Sun realm. So White Sun Monarch only went to get it back. Heavenly Law Pavilion and White Sun Monarch's relationship isn't good? Qin Yun's eyes lit up. It wasn't good in the past, but it's hard to say now. It's not good nor bad. In short, I can't afford to offend the disciples of Heavenly Law Pavilion and White Sun Palace. Bai Xia looked at the sword in her hand and said, "This sword belongs to my grandfather. It can be considered as my family's heirloom." Qin Yun has seen how powerful this sword is. It is indeed very good. It is a rare divine sword. No wonder Bai Xia brought this sword to the gathering. This is equivalent to their family's glory. Bai Xia, what is Princess Yuamei's status like? Qin Yun is very curious and asked. White Sun Monarch treats her very well. Indeed, she is equivalent to White Sun Monarch's daughter. In the entire White Sun Palace, other than White Sun Monarch, she has the highest status. Bai Xia said in low voice, "Big brother, do you really know Princess Yuamei? Have you seen her?" "Of course I have," Qin Yun said with a smile. "I am very familiar with her." "So that's how it is. Then have you seen White Sun Monarch?" Bai Xia asked again. "I haven't seen him, have you?" Qin Yun is also very curious about White Sun Monarch. "Of course I haven't seen him, but my grandfather has. My grandfather said that White Sun Monarch's position in the White Sun Divine Realm is extremely high. She is the daughter of the White Sun Divine King," Bai Xia said with emotion. It is said that White Sun Monarch left the White Sun Divine Realm because he didn't want to grow up under his father's protection. That's why he went out to roam the world. Qin Yun is secretly alarmed. The White Sun Divine Realm is definitely as powerful as the Divine Desolate. To be able to become a Divine King in the White Sun Divine Realm, he must be very powerful. Bai Xia, how many Divine Kings are there in the White Sun Divine Realm? Qin Yun asked. 3. They're all old monsters. In short, they're all very strong. My grandfather said that if those 3 Divine Kings were to fight, the entire White Sun Divine Realm would be destroyed. Bai Xia's face is filled with yearning as she said with smile, "If only I could become that strong one day." The White Sun Divine Realm is such a powerful space, yet it was destroyed by the joint efforts of 3 Divine Kings. Qin Yun can roughly determine how strong those 3 Divine Kings are. Big brother, how strong are the Divine Kings of the Divine Desolate? Bai Xia asked. About this, at present, there are no true Divine Kings because the Divine Desolate is a newly formed Divine Realm. Qin Yun said, although he was once a Divine King, he doesn't believe that he is a true Divine King now. Qin Yun and Bai Xia chatted and learned a lot about White Sun Monarch and the White Sun Divine Realm. He also learned about the status of the White Sun Island Master. The White Sun Island Master's status is not very high, but for some reason, that Zhang Anxiao suddenly has a very good reputation. Not only is he very close to the young masters in the mansion, he also has the protection of the Heavenly Law Pavilion. Bai Xia is very puzzled. Qin Yun believes that Zhang Anxiao must have curried favor with the people of the Heavenly Law Pavilion's Devil Court, which is why he has his current status. The large carriage arrived at a large building. After Qin Yun and Bai Xia entered the building, they were brought to a very spacious hall. There are already several hundred people in the hall. The center of the hall is very spacious. There are no tables or chairs. Only some food and drinks are placed around the hall. In the hall, everyone is dressed luxuriously, drinking wine and chatting. After Qin Yun entered, he did not sense Zhang Anxiao and Fan Linghui's aura. Zhang Anxiao's strength is not weak, but Qin Yun is not afraid of him. If they were to really fight, Qin Yun could rely on the Myriad Heaven Divine Saber and the 9-Dragon Heavenly Origin formation of fight. White Sun Monarch has already come out of seclusion, and this restaurant is very close to the mansion. If they were to fight, it would definitely cause a huge commotion. When the time comes, White Sun Monarch will definitely come personally. Qin Yun also asked Bai Xia on the way. No one dared to fight here because they could not bear the consequences. Especially since White Sun Monarch has come out of seclusion, no one dared to act recklessly. Bai Xia brought Qin Yun to the hall and immediately started exchanging pleasantries with the others. The people here all look very young. Most of them are famous people in the White Sun Sky City. And many people here do not know Bai Xia because not many people know that he is Bai Qiangshu's son. Bai Xia was indeed very low-key before. He did not use his father's banner everywhere. He used his temperament and the sword in his hand to make a name for himself. At this moment, many people came over to greet him. White Sun Island Master and his wife are here, someone suddenly shouted. Qin Yun immediately looked towards the door. Zhang Anxiao and Fan Linghui, the adulterous couple, brought with them a faint arrogance as they walked in with a group of people. Fan Linghui is holding Zhang Anxiao's arm. After walking in, she immediately greeted some of her friends. Qin Yun also learned that Fan Linghui's position in the Fan family has increased by a lot. This gathering is supported by the Fan family from behind. Therefore, many people from the Fan family came, especially the young disciples of the Fan family. At this moment, they are all warmly greeting the guests. Bai Xia is also standing at the side of the hall, looking at the lively place in front of him. Zhang Anxiao and Fan Linghui are surrounded. Many people are warmly greeting them. It can be seen that many people here want to curry favor with them. Soon after, the people from the Long Mansion arrived. There are a total of 3 young masters, but they brought very strong followers with them. Their ostentation is also very big. They even want to suppress Zhang Anxiao and Fan Linghui. When Zhang Anxiao and Fan Linghui learned that the 3 young masters from the Long Mansion have arrived, they immediately walked over to welcome them. The last one to appear is the person from the Heavenly Law Pavilion. He is a handsome blue-haired man. There is not even a bit of smile on his face. He is wearing luxurious blue and white clothes. There are several rings on his hand. He has a very aloof appearance. However, Zhang Anxiao, Fan Linghui, and the 3 young masters from the Long Mansion are striving to be the first to greet this man. It must be said that the status of the Heavenly Law Pavilion is very high in the Heavenly Law universe. That blue-haired man has a scowling expression, but Zhang Anxiao and his group are not the least bit disgusted. Instead, they are trying to curry favor with him with a smiling face. What made Qin Yun pay more attention is that the 5 black-clothed men brought by the blue-haired man are all wearing masks. Their masks are very unique. There are no holes on their white masks, and there is a 6-pointed star pattern on their forehead. These guys are the masked men who attacked Granny Tang. Qin Yun's heart suddenly surged with faint killing intent. Granny Tang said that the people who besieged her had a 6-pointed star pattern on their masks. This also left a very deep impression on her. Sure enough, it was the Heavenly Law Pavilion who attacked them. They all have the Long Mansion's command medallion on them. Were those command medallions given to them by some big shot in the Long Mansion? Qin Yun carefully observed the 5 masked men from a distance. Could it be King White Sun? Ling Yuner said, "It shouldn't be." City Master Bai said that those command medallions are not King White Sun's. City Master Bai definitely knows whose command medallion it is, but he doesn't dare to tell me. Qin Yun said in his heart. Qin Yun is not standing together with Bai Xia at this moment, because Fan Linghui and Zhang Anxiao might discover him. At that time, if they make a ruckus, Bai Xia will be implicated. And what he did not expect is that the trouble did not come to find him first, but went to find Bai Xia. After the blue-haired man from the Heavenly Law Pavilion finished talking with the young man from the Long Mansion, he looked at Bai Xia. Chapter 2250. Bai Xia saw that group of people looking over. Moreover, they said that his father saved an old woman. He immediately thought of Granny Tang. He doesn't know why Granny Tang was injured. He only knows that she is Bai Qinghong's mother, his father's old lover. Now that he heard the blue-haired man's words, he realized that Granny Tang was saved by his father. Zhang Anxiao, Fan Linghui, the 3 young masters of the Long Mansion, as well as the blue-haired man, immediately led their people towards Bai Xia. Everyone opened up a path. They are secretly shocked that the City Lord's son is here. Moreover, the City Lord has offended people from the Heavenly Law Pavilion. There are about 1,000 people here. All of them are disciples of famous sects in the White Yang Heaven City. Normally, they would be very respectful towards the City Lord's son, but now they all feel that Bai Xia is finished. Everyone knows that the relationship between the Heavenly Law Pavilion and the big shots of the Long Mansion is very good. Especially the 3 young masters from the Long Mansion. They have an extremely good relationship with the blue-haired man. Therefore, those masked men all have the Long Mansion's command medallion on them. This kind of medallion allows them to handle matters in the White Yang Heaven City very easily. A little city lord actually dares to obstruct the Heavenly Law Pavilion from capturing people. Truly a dog's guts. Zhang Anxiao said with sneer. Brat, do you know who your father offended? This young Master Ling is the devil of the Heavenly Law Pavilion, the son of the court's dean, Ling Lan Yu. Fan Linghui also hates Granny Tang to the bone. Originally, the Heavenly Law Pavilion's people were about to capture Granny Tang, but unexpectedly, she was saved by the city lord, Bai Qiangshu. Because Bai Qiangshu is the city lord and his attitude was very unyielding, those masked men did not dare to make a big deal out of this matter. The main reason is that they are afraid of alarming the White Sun King, so they could only let Bai Qiangshu take Granny Tang away. When Fan Linghui and Zhang Anxiao learned of this matter, they became very angry. Bai Xia cursed his father in his heart. He is usually very cautious because he is worried that he will harm his father. But now, he has been cheated by his father. Qinyan did not go over. Instead, he quietly watched from a distance. He felt that if they made a scene on such an occasion, it would have a negative impact. Whether it was the child of the prince's mansion or Ling Lan Yu of the Heaven Law Pavilion, they would all have some concerns. If Ling Lan Yu really made a move, he would also help Bai Xia. Brat, do you know where your father is hiding that old woman? Zhang Anxiao asked coldly after walking over. I don't know. Bai Xia was relatively calm and shouted loudly. Of course he knew, but he didn't dare to say it. He had previously seen that Qin Yun and Granny Tang had a good relationship, and Qin Yun was in the hall. If he were to betray Granny Tang, his image in Qin Yun's heart would be completely destroyed. You really don't know? Ling Lan Yu's face was cold, and her eyes were filled with killing intent. This Ling Lan Yu from the Heaven Law Pavilion did not conceal his killing intent at all. Everyone present was secretly shocked, and they all felt that Hero Bai was about to die. Bai Xia was scared to death. She held her scabbard tightly and shouted, Even if I know, what can you do to me if I don't tell you? The crowd burst into an uproar. They didn't expect Hero Bai to be so bold as to talk back to Ling Lan Yu like that. You're courting death. Ling Lan Yu shouted angrily. A gust of wind gushed out his body and blew Bai Xia a few steps back. Zhang Anxiao sneered and said, Your father is just a small city lord, yet you are so arrogant. You truly don't know the meaning of death. Fan Linghui coldly shouted, Hurry up and tell us where that old woman is hiding. Otherwise, my Fan family will not let you off. Try and touch me. My father has already gone to see King White Sunday. If anything happens to me, my father will definitely tell King White Sun. Hero Bai shouted. He thought that his father, the city lord, must have some status if he could meet King White Sunday immediately. He became much more confident. Yo, do you really think that just because your father is the city lord, you're amazing? The city lord is about the same as a housekeeper, only slightly better than a dog. A young master from the Wang mansion laughed loudly. That's right. How can you not understand King White Sun? King White Sun only treats your father as a housekeeper. Another young master from the Wang mansion also sneered. Zhang Anxiao sneered and said, I won't kill you, but I can capture you, right? We have the Heaven Law Pavilion, the Fan family, and the 3 divine generals from the Wang mansion behind us. King White Sun definitely won't say anything. Ling Lan Yu waved his hand and shouted, Capture this guy. Hero Bai originally thought that by participating in this kind of high-end gathering, he would be able to make some friends. He never expected that they would deliberately invite him to capture him. He is extremely angry and also very afraid. He knows that Qin Yun is here, and he also knows that Qin Yun is very capable. However, he doesn't have much hope because he believes that even Qin Yun wouldn't dare to offend the divine generals of the Wang Mansion, the Heaven Law Pavilion, and the Fan family. Other than King White Sun, the few divine generals in the Wang Mansion are the most powerful. They have formed a few powerful forces in the Wang Mansion. Those 3 young masters are the sons of 3 of the divine generals. The few masked men behind Ling Lan Yu immediately surrounded Hero Bai. Hero Bai is angry and afraid, making him feel that he has fallen into incomparable despair. I'll fight it out with you. Hero Bai immediately unsheathed his sword. That divine sword of his was still very powerful. The moment the divine sword was unsheathed, a cold air spread out in all directions. The sharp aura was accompanied by a gust of wind. The sword wind is like a biting cold wind, causing people to feel uncomfortable. Good sword, I want it. Ling Lanyu's eyes are filled with greed. He sneered, "Capture this guy and let his father exchange for that old woman." That sword made all the youngsters present extremely envious. Even Ling Lanyu of the Heaven Law Pavilion doesn't have this kind of divine sword. The few masked men surrounded him. Hero Bai clenched his teeth and tightly gripped his sword. He is already prepared to fight with his life on the line. At this moment, Qin Yun suddenly flashed over. He is not beside Hero Bai. Instead, he arrived behind Ling Lanyu. Qin Yun held a small pistol in his hand and pressed it against the back of Ling Lanyu's head. At the same time, he released tree vines and roots to bind Ling Lanyu. "All of you stop," Qin Yun shouted. Seeing the young Qin Yun, Fan Ling Hui, and Zhang Anxiao's expression changed greatly. Especially when they saw the small pistol, their expressions became even more unsightly. Everyone is also extremely shocked. Someone actually dared to attack someone from the Heaven Law Pavilion. This is equivalent to provoking the Heaven Law Pavilion. Who are you? Do you know what you are doing?" Ling Lanyu shouted. He also felt that the tree vines are very powerful. They are constantly releasing a kind of power into his body, dissolving his condensed power. Ling Lanyu can't condense his power, nor can he break free from the tree vines. "Of course I know," Qin Yun said. "Don't move. The thing behind your head is very powerful. Be careful." Young Master Ling, it was this person who helped that old woman escape from White Sun Island. Fan Ling Hui shouted while gnashing her teeth. The pistol in Qin Yun's hand immediately aimed at Fan Ling Hui. Boom! A deafening sound burst out. A bullet carrying a scorching hot aura shot out and shot towards Fan Ling Hui. Fan Ling Hui has a soft armor to protect her body. After sensing the danger, a shield immediately appeared. However, the bullet still pierced through the shield and hit Fan Ling Hui's left arm, shattering one of her arms. Originally, Qin Yun aimed at Fan Ling Hui's head, but unexpectedly, Fan Ling Hui's reaction was very fast, so he could only hit her arm. Everyone present is dumbfounded. He directly made a move, and he even attacked a member of the Fan family. Even Bai Xia was so scared that her heart almost stopped beating. Other than admiration for Qin Yun, there was only admiration in her heart. This is simply a guy who is not afraid of heaven or earth. Qin Yun's expression is indifferent as he said to Ling Lanyu, "Tell your subordinates to stay away from Bai Xia. You should know that the thing in my hand can explode your dog head, so you better cooperate a bit." The muzzle of the gun is once again pressed against the back of Ling Lanyu's head, and it is still burning hot, causing Ling Lanyu to tremble in fear. Zhang Anxiao and Fan Ling Hui are also frightened. Although they are angry, they don't dare to say another word. They really did not expect that this young man would be so daring as to directly make a move in White Sun Sky City. There are a lot of people here. Qin Yun can only focus on dealing with Ling Lanyu. As long as he can take down Ling Lanyu, he is not afraid of being besieged. "Bai Xia, come here," Qin Yun shouted. "If they dare to touch you, I'll chop off this blue hare's arm." Bai Xia also mustered up her courage and hurriedly rushed towards Qin Yun. The few masked men did not dare to stop Bai Xia. They were worried that Ling Lanyu would be killed. "You're dead. You won't be able to walk out of White Sun Heaven City," Ling Lanyu said coldly. "My senior has just met White Sun Monarch. Even if I kill you here, White Sun Monarch won't say anything. Don't try to use White Sun King to pressure me. If King White Sun wants to attack me, I won't let her off." After Qin Yun finished speaking, he ruthlessly struck Ling Lanyu's lower back with his palm. "Ah!" Ling Lanyu screamed. Qin Yun's suffering divine power poured into Ling Lanyu's body. The pain almost made him faint. Beside Qin Yun, Bai Xia fiercely shivered, because he was tortured by that kind of painful power before, but it was relatively light. Meanwhile, Ling Lanyu was suffering a lot from the power of God Art. It was so painful that his face was distorted. Granny Tang is my friend. You injured her. I will not let you off. Qin Yun said, immediately pointed the divine King Spear's muzzle at Zhang Anxiao. This time, when he pointed his gun at Zhang Anxiao, he controlled a force of gravity to rush over and press down on Zhang Anxiao. Boom! The might of this spear is extremely great, and it was shot out with the sun-suppressing divine arrow. The sun-suppressing divine arrow shot out from the muzzle and turned into a very large arrow. Zhang Anxiao never expected that Qin Yun would attack again, and he would even use such a powerful thing. Completely defenseless, his abdomen was directly penetrated by the sun-suppressing divine arrow, and his life divine crystal shattered. Qin Yun's sun-suppressing divine arrow has the ability of 10,000 devour. When it rushed over, it devoured the energy within Zhang Anxiao's body, and then released that energy. Boom! Another explosion shook out, directly causing Zhang Anxiao's body to split open, and the people beside him were also sent flying. What's terrifying is that the impact caused the entire building to shake violently. Chapter 2251. Zhang Anxiao's body was pierced by the sun-suppressing divine arrow. He rolled on the ground and howled. He once again underestimated Qin Yun's courage. He did not expect Qin Yun to dare to make a move on such an occasion. Just now, Fan Ling Hui was almost killed. Even though she defended and dodged in time, one of her arms was still broken. Now that she saw Zhang Anxiao's appearance, she felt extreme fear in her heart. She only hoped that the older generation of the Fan family would arrive quickly. The young masters of the 3 divine generals of the Wang Mansion all came with some powerful followers. However, those followers are also extremely worried at the moment. They saw that the things Qin Yun used just now were all very powerful. If he really attacked the young master they were protecting, it would not be easy to defend. Everyone began to release their barriers to protect themselves, lest a hole suddenly appear in their bodies. Ling Lanyu's body also began to tremble. He was beside Qin Yun and could clearly feel Qin Yun's terrifying killing intent. You don't act recklessly. I am from the Heaven Law Pavilion. If you kill me, the Heaven Law Pavilion will not let you off. Ling Lanyu said with a trembling voice. If there's anything, we can discuss it. You injured Granny Tang. Not to mention that she is so seriously injured. You still plan to continue to capture her? Qin Yun said with a sneer. It's already like this. What's there to discuss? As soon as he finished speaking, Qin Yun's muzzle suddenly moved down to the back of Ling Lanyu's waist. Don't. Ling Lanyu screamed in fear. Boom! Qin Yun fired a shot. A powerful force suddenly erupted from the muzzle and pierced through Ling Lanyu's waist. The life divine crystal in Ling Lanyu's abdomen was directly destroyed by Qin Yun's shot. This scene caused everyone present to tremble, their bodies to sway, and their hearts to be filled with extreme fear. The son of the Heaven Law Pavilion's Devil Quartz Dean also had his life divine crystal destroyed. Ling Lanyu, who had a cold and arrogant expression just a moment ago, now has a face full of pain, screaming and wailing. The few masked men are very angry, but they don't dare to make a move. Ling Lanyu only had his life divine crystal destroyed. He was not killed. Bai Xia, who is beside Qin Yun, is also sweating all over. He realized that he still underestimated the ability of this big brother. Even when facing the people from the Heavenly Law Pavilion, he was not afraid at all. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Ling Lanyu cried. When my father comes, you'll definitely die. Qin Yun immediately released the 9 altars. The altar became very small, about the size of 9 tables. After it flew out, it surrounded the masked men. The 9 dragons' heavenly origin array was released by Qin Yun. The great array was activated, forming a barrier. The masked men were trapped in the 9 dragons' heaven origin formation. It was you who attacked Granny Tang. Since she is seriously injured, I will also make you seriously injured. Qin Yun finished speaking and activated the 9 dragon heavenly origin formation's killing formation. Rumble. The nine dragons' heavenly origin formation released a violent rumble of thunder. Lightning flashed within the formation, piercing through the masked men's bodies. The masked men screamed miserably again and again. Their abdomens were all pierced through, and their life origin divine crystals were shattered. Those were people from the Heaven Law Pavilion's Devil Court. They were all very strong, but now they couldn't even withstand a single blow. They didn't dare to attack. They also didn't expect Qin Yun to have such a powerful formation. That's why they were caught unprepared by the powerful killing formation. After the three young masters from the Wang Mansion came into contact with Qin Yun's ice-cold gaze, their bodies couldn't help but tremble. "We don't have any enmity with you, yet you want to attack us? We are the sons of three divine generals. If you attack us, it will be very miserable." One of the sons of divine generals said in cold voice, "If you attack us, don't even think of leaving White Sun Heaven City. What's more, our Wang Mansion's experts will arrive very soon. You are finished." Let's see how long you can be arrogant for. Although the three young masters from the Wang Mansion are afraid of Qin Yun in their hearts, they still want to save face. They also feel that this is White Sun Heaven City. The Wang Mansion is nearby. It is their territory, so they can't be afraid, otherwise they will be laughed at by others. Qin Yun looked at the three young masters from the Wang Mansion, waved his hand, and withdrew the nine dragons' heavenly origin formation. "Originally, I didn't want to attack you, but now." Qin Yun sneered. His figure flashed and arrived in front of them in a flash. Pow! With a crisp sound, Qin Yun's palms struck out with explosive vibration power and landed on the faces of the three young masters, directly causing their faces to explode. The young masters from the Wang Mansion's three divine generals were actually beaten up. Bai Xia's legs trembled. He is very clear about how powerful those divine generals are. His father, the city lord, is often bullied by those divine generals to the point that he doesn't even dare to fart. And in front of him, Qin Yun actually ruthlessly slapped the sons of three divine generals. After Qin Yun finished, the three young masters' followers immediately attacked, but they did not hit Qin Yun. Qin Yun has already returned to Ling Lanyu's side and said with a sneer, "I crippled the Heavenly Law Pavilion's blue hair. I've already caused such a big trouble. I'm not afraid of provoking more. Do you really think you're something?" Ling Lanyu is tied up by the tree vines and continuously shouted. The few masked men also fell to the ground and began to tremble. Their Heavenly Law Pavilion is a supreme existence in the Heavenly Law universe, but now they are so sullen. Princess Yumei is downstairs. She brought King White Sun's White Sun War God Squad. Suddenly, an old man hurriedly walked in and said in a low voice, "Princess Yumei is here." Everyone immediately burst into an uproar. "The White Sun War God Squad is here? That bastard is dead for sure," a young master said with a laugh. Princess Yumei is indeed doted on by King White Sunday. He actually sent the White Sun War God Squad to protect her. This is great. No one can save that evil brat. Bai Xia is suddenly very worried. He heard Qin Yun say that he knew Princess Yumei, but he did not believe it. There's also the White Sun War God Squad. They are the elite war gods selected by King White Sun's most powerful White Sun War God army. Even the divine generals of the Wang Mansion are fearful of those elite war gods. Those who are familiar with the Wang Mansion's War God Squad quickly retreated to the wall. In their eyes, Qin Yun is like a dead man. Ling Lanyu also suddenly laughed loudly and said, "You damned little bastard, you are dead for sure. King White Sun's War God Squad is an existence that even our Heaven Law Pavilion fears. If you hit us, the War God Squad will definitely not let you off." "The princess is here," someone suddenly shouted. Xiao Yuanmei came over. She is wearing a white dress and a mask on her face. Her hair is also white. From her aura, Qin Yun can confirm that it is Xiao Yuanmei. On the way here, Xiao Yuanmei heard that something big happened here. She has the soul-chasing talisman in her hand and also knows that Qin Yun is in this direction, so she is sure that it was Qin Yun who did it. Of course, after she arrived, she did not bat an eyelid. The three divine general young masters whose faces were smashed to pieces quickly ran over and bowed to Xiao Yuanmei. Behind Xiao Yuanmei, there are 10 people wearing white armor and white helmets. From their figures, it can be seen that they are all women, but their auras are very strong. They should be the War God Squad. Princess, it's that little bastard who injured us. A young master shouted. Quickly help me up. Take me to Princess Yuanmei to pay my respects. Zhang Anxiao, who was lying on the ground, quickly shouted and asked 2 people to help him over. Princess, you must uphold justice for us. Fan Linghui also cried. Princess, I am Ling Lanyu. We met in the Long Mansion before. I was injured by this bastard. Quickly save me. Ling Lanyu, who is tied up by tree vines, shouted loudly. The 10 White Sun war gods behind Xiao Yuanmei all released their powerful auras and prepared to take action. Just as everyone was waiting for Xiao Yuanmei to speak, they saw her walking towards Qin Yin. Princess, be careful. A White Sun warrior quickly shouted. It is indeed a woman. Everyone is secretly astonished. The War God Squad is actually made up of women, and they are so powerful. I'm fine, Xiao Yuanmei said softly. She gently flew in front of Qin Yin and pinched his handsome little face. When everyone saw this scene, they were immediately stunned. Qin Yin has the appearance of a young boy and is much shorter than Xiao Yuanmei. At this moment, Xiao Yuanmei is pinching his face like a big sister bullying a little brother. Xiao Yun, what exactly happened? Xiao Yuanmei asked with a light smile. Then, she said to the 10 White Sun war gods behind her, Don't be afraid, this young boy is my little brother. Little brother? Zhang Anxiao and Fan Linghui are immediately dumbfounded. Ling Lanyu and the 3 divine generals all opened their mouths wide, speechless. Bai Xia and everyone present are also dumbstruck. Just now, Zhang Anxiao and the others were hoping that Princess Yuanmei would avenge them. However, Princess Yuanmei is indeed that young boy's older sister. This immediately caused a chill to rise in their hearts. Because the one who will be finished is not Qin Yun, it is very likely that it will be them. Qin Yun pulled her hand away and said with light snort, They injure my friends inside the White Sun Heaven City. Moreover, they're not willing to give up and continue to capture my friends. Tell me, isn't this their fault? They can't fight inside the White Sun Heaven City. Of course, if there is someone behind them, as long as they don't provoke Prince White Sun, nothing will happen. The reason why Ling Lanyu and the others dared to make a move is because they have the support of the 3 divine generals and Fan family. And now, Princess Yuanmei knows about this matter and will definitely bring up Prince White Sun to reason. At that time, Qin Yin will not be punished at all. Furthermore, the people who made a move inside the White Sun Heaven City might also be punished. So that's how it is. Xiao Yuanmei looked at the White Sun war god behind her and lightly shouted, Capture these guys and bring them back to the White Sun Heaven Palace. Investigate this matter thoroughly. They actually dare to make a move inside the White Sun Heaven City. They're truly not putting Prince White Sun in their eyes. Qin Yun's hands are behind his back. His face is full of smile as he watched Zhang Anxiao and Fan Linghui being captured. Bai Xia doesn't even dare to breathe loudly. He knows that Qin Yin is a very awesome person, but he never expected that his background would be even more awesome. He is actually Princess Yuanmei's younger brother. Xiao Yun, how long have you been in the White Sun Heaven City? Why didn't you come and find me? Xiao Yuanmei pinched Qin Yun's face again. That city master Bai said that my cultivation is too low and I am not qualified to enter the White Sun Heaven Palace. Qin Yin shook his head and sighed. I am only at the Xian God Realm. I am indeed too weak. Xian God Realm? Weak? The group of people who were beaten up to the point of crying for their parents were all Heavenly God Realm and Sacred God Realm. Chapter 2252. Fan Linghui, Zhang Anxiao, and others have been injured, and now they're being taken to the palace by the White Sun War Gods. This matter is rather serious because it involves divine generals, Fan family, and Heavenly Law Pavilion. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuanmei are not worried at all. They are from Divine Desolate. If the matter becomes too big, they can just return to Divine Desolate. Divine Desolate is so big, even if the powerful factions of Heavenly Law Universe chase after them, they won't be able to do anything to them. White Hero also followed behind Qin Yun and left the restaurant. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuanmei are sitting in a large carriage. Xiao Yuanmei told the 10 White Sun War gods to return first. She and Qin Yun want to talk alone. They will not immediately return to the palace. Brother, you really came in smoothly, Xiao Yuanmei said with charming smile. I was really worried that you wouldn't be able to enter. You were looking down on me. Qin Yun mischievously laughed, pinched Xiao Yuanmei's face, and said, Quickly change me back. No way, I think you're pretty good like this. Xiao Yuanmei said with smile. Even if you don't change me back, I have my own way to change back. It would be a bit tiring. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, Brother, you should stay like this for now. Wait until we meet White Sun Prince. Your current appearance will make her relax her vigilance. Xiao Yuanmei said. Yuanmei, rumor has it that White Sun Prince is your godmother. Is that true? Qin Yun asked. It could be considered so. Her full name is Bai Su Xin. I call her Xinyang. Xiao Yuanmei sweetly smiled and said, She is very good to me. She also knows that I am 9-Sun Divine Maiden. Qin Yun entered Heavenly Law Universe rather late. He has many doubts about it. After Xiao Yuanmei came in, she was able to come in contact with a powerful existence like White Sun Prince, so she must know a lot about Heavenly Law Universe. I heard that the great factions in Heavenly Law Pavilion are preparing to break the restriction and go to Divine Desolate. Is this information reliable? Qin Yun asked. It's true. There were clans from 6 different god worlds here. When Lan Tianyu had descended upon those god worlds, they had entered the universe of heaven and earth and stayed here. They originally thought that the blue sky would return to their divine world, but when the blue sky landed in the gods' wilderness, they felt that the blue sky was about to self-destruct. Therefore, they began to discuss how they should work together to break through the restrictions and leave the blue sky to head to the divine wasteland. I heard that many people from the other heaven realms in the Heaven Law Pavilion advocated for dominating the divine wasteland. Xiao Yuanmei can't help but laugh. Those fools don't know how powerful Divine Desolate is. I entered the Heavenly Law universe and collected many Heavenly Law divine runes. There is even a complete one. Qin Yun narrated his experience to Xiao Yuanmei. The God inscription of Heaven's Law is only the most basic inheritance. In the universe of Heaven's Law, there is a huge secret hidden. If we can find it, we will know who created the blue sky. Xiao Yuanmei said, Xian Yang has always been looking for an answer. She wants to know who created Blue Sky Universe. What about the Heavenly Law Pavilion? What kind of existence is it? Asked Qin Yun. Heavenly Law Pavilion. Those guys are humans from the Heavenly Law Universe. They originally existed here. Xiao Yuanmei said, They were originally good. They were in charge of passing down all kinds of outer heavens inheritances. But later they stopped passing down the inheritances and instead wanted to dominate the Heavenly Law Universe. Qin Yun said, Shen Yu Tianlong is from the Heavenly Law Pavilion. What is his attitude? I heard that he fought with White Sun King before, and they were fighting over something. Shen Yu Tianlong is pretty good. The Heavenly Law Pavilion wants to attack and occupy the Divine Desolate, but Shen Yu Tianlong doesn't agree. Of course, Shen Yu Tianlong has already left the Heavenly Law Pavilion. He should be returning to the Divine Desolate now. Shen Yu Tianlong originally belonged to the Divine Desolate. Qin Yun said, Yuanmei, how much does that White Sun Prince understand about the Blue Sky Universe? For example, how many Heavenly Law Divine runes does he have? Heavenly Law Divine runes are actually a kind of Law Divine rune. For example, Water Attribute Heavenly Law Divine rune. Originally, there was only one. Later on, through the Water Attribute Heavenly Law Divine rune, many other Water Attribute Heavenly Law Divine runes were derived. And Water Attribute Heavenly Law Divine runes fused with other attribute Heavenly Law Divine runes and underwent all kind of evolution. Then it became ever-changing, More and more, just like living beings, different species appeared. Xiao Yuanmei simply explained the existence of heavenly law divine runes. In that case, as long as the luck of the people who come here is not too bad, they can all master many heavenly law divine runes. Qin Yun said. Xin Yang said that she feels that the blue sky universe is a space for experimentation. Using heavenly law divine runes to transform into species, making the world even more colorful. However, there is a problem. The species transformed from heavenly law divine runes are very strong. They can easily destroy the world. Xiao Yuanmei lightly sighed and said, therefore, the blue sky universe must self-destruct. Qin Yun is secretly astonished and said, who is doing this kind of thing? Those guys must be very strong, right? This made him think of the nameless old man. Back in Sacred Desolate's Sun Sacred Land, he spent a very long time to create Primal Divine Sunday. He experimented, but failed in the end. Therefore, Qin Yun always felt that the nameless old man is not simple. He is not an ordinary person from an ancient race. Xin Yang also doesn't know who created the blue sky universe, so she wants to understand. Xiao Yuanmei said, brother, although there are many heavenly law divine runes here, they're also divided into strong and weak. Those good heavenly law divine runes are very strong. The heavenly Dharma divine runes Qin Yun grasped were mostly in small segments. There is only one complete oscillation rune. How strong is it? Qin Yun asked. I also don't understand. In short, Xin Yang said that those good heavenly law divine runes can be carved in his soul and body. Xiao Yuanmei said, this is very normal for runes. Qin Yun said with a smile, most runes can do this. Xiao Yuanmei shook her head and said, this is very different from the runes of our myriad heavens, divine desolate. Xin Yang said that heavenly law is equivalent to a spell. After being carved into the body, one can instantly release a powerful spell. Moreover, each person can only fuse with one heavenly law divine rune. This is something that Granny Tang and Bai Changshu never told him before. It indeed sounds very different. It must be a very complete heavenly law divine rune. If it is not complete, then the heavenly law divine rune will split and cause the body to split apart. It is very terrifying. Xiao Yuanmei said again, brother, do you really have a complete heavenly law divine rune? What? Is it very difficult to obtain a complete heavenly law divine rune? Qin Yun said with frown. It is very difficult to obtain. Xin Yang only has 3, and they are all very ordinary. Xiao Yuanmei said with smile, if you have a Momo's help, it should be very easy to obtain. Granny Tang also told Qin Yun about this matter. A complete heavenly law divine rune is very difficult to obtain because even if one can capture a complete heavenly law divine rune beast, it is very difficult to obtain a complete heavenly law divine rune. But to MOMO, it is a very simple and easy matter. Is White Sun King that powerful? She has never caught a complete heavenly law divine rune beast. Qin Yun is very doubtful about this. Catching it is one thing. It is hard to say whether or not you can obtain it. Inside a heavenly law divine rune beast, there are many heavenly law divine runes. Moreover, there are many messy heavenly law divine runes mixed inside. When taking it out, if the speed is too slow, the heavenly law divine rune will split apart. Xiao Yuanmei said. Qin Yun closed his eyes and recalled the vibration rune. Mo has already transmitted this set of heavenly law divine rune to him, and it appeared in his mind. I should have more or less mastered the complete set of heavenly law divine rune. Qin Yun laughed and said, Yuanmei, then tell me, am I the most awesome inscription master in the heavenly law universe? Of course, my brother is that awesome. Xiao Yuanmei giggled and rubbed Qin Yun's face again. Qin Yun brought Xiao Yuanmei to meet Granny Tang and Bai Qinghong. They stayed in that building for the entire night and only went to the Wang mansion after daybreak. Bai Qinghong is also a wild girl. She and Xiao Yuanmei are birds of feather. The two girls have only known each other for a short period of time, and they are already discussing how to roam the world. Qin Yun sat in the carriage and followed Xiao Yuanmei to the Wang mansion. The matter of Zhang Anxiao and the others being beaten up has been fermenting for an entire night and has spread like wildfire in White Sun Sky City. White Sun King and the generals in the Wang mansion naturally know about this matter, because those people were all captured by White Sun War God and brought to the Wang mansion. After an entire night of investigation, they will definitely be able to find out the truth. Therefore, Xiao Yuanmei waited for an entire night before bringing Qin Yun into the Wang mansion. This way, she wouldn't need to explain so much to Qin Yun. The Wang mansion's barrier is very heavy. Xiao Yuanmei has the command medallion, and she is Princess Yuanmei, so when she brought Qin Yun in, there is no problem at all. The large carriage entered the Wang mansion and went straight to the manor in the middle of the Wang mansion. That is White Sun King's residence. While Qin Yun is in the carriage, he can see from afar that there are a few mountains in the middle of the manor. There's also a beautiful silvery white river flowing on top of it. It looks very dreamy. In the middle of the few mountains, there's a pure white, beautiful huge tree that looks like white jade. The silvery white heavenly river passes through a hole in the huge tree trunk. Xian Yang lives on top of that tree. Xiao Yuanmei said, "Brother, do you see the big hole in the tree root? There's a large hall inside. There are many white stalactites. It is very beautiful." Xian Yang and others are having a meeting inside. Qin Yun nodded and said, "I see. This White Sun King is truly an interesting woman. She created this kind of dreamy environment to live in." Xian Yang is very beautiful. Moreover, she has many fantastic ideas, but she is not an inscription master, so it is very difficult to achieve. Xiao Yuanmei said. Xiao Yuanmei brought Qin Yun into the Wang mansion. Then from another small tree hole, they quietly entered the inside of the big tree. The trunk of the big tree is like a huge building, and the tree flesh inside is made of white jade like glowing stones. Therefore, the passage is very bright. Not long after Xiao Yuanmei brought Qin Yun into a small tree hole, a mass of white water suddenly appeared on the ground. That mass of water quickly transformed into a beautiful woman wearing white skirt. Chapter 2253. Xiao Yuanmei gently stuck out her tongue and asked in a low voice, "Sister Tree, why is Qin Yang angry? What is the situation in the main hall?" Sister Tree sighed lightly and said, "I also don't know. In short, I can sense that Sister Sushin's mood is somewhat bad. I also don't know what she is angry about." "All right, I will go to the main hall now," Xiao Yuanmei said. "Do you want me to send you there?" Sister Tree glanced at Qin Yun. In her eyes, Qin Yun is only an ordinary young boy. "No need, we will go over," Xiao Yuanmei said with charming smile. "Sister Tree, this is my little brother. His name is Qin Yun. He is very awesome." "Hello." Big Sister Tree greeted Qin Yun and said with a faint smile. "Hello, Sister Tree." Qin Yun also said with smile. "Brother, Sister Tree is a complete heavenly law divine rune. Moreover, she has evolved several times. She is very awesome." Xiao Yuanmei giggled and then said to Sister Tree, "My brother is a very awesome inscription master." "That's great. We will have a chance to discuss it in the future," Sister Tree said and urged. "Yuanmei, quickly go see Sister Sushin." Qin Yun immediately pulled Qin Yun and ran through the passage. On the way, Qin Yun is secretly apprehensive. This tree is actually a heavenly law divine rune. It might even be a tree type heavenly law divine rune. Not long after, Qin Yun followed Xiao Yuanmei to the main hall. The main hall is filled with sharp stalactites that emit white light. They look like white jade or white crystals. They are very beautiful. Dozens of people are standing in the spacious main hall. Most of them are old and middle-aged. They are all experts of the Wang Mansion. Heavenly Law Pavilion's people and Bai Qiangshu are also here. Apart from them, there are also 20 to 30 White Sun War Gods. Zhang Anxiao, Ling Lan Yu, Fan Lenghui, as well as the 3 young masters of the Wang Mansion's divine generals are all here. Their complexions are very haggard. After all, they have been seriously injured. After they saw Qin Yun, They all revealed expressions of hatred. As soon as Qin Yun entered, he indifferently glanced at the group of people and then looked towards the front of the main hall. There's a crystal bead curtain separating the area. Only a white chair can be seen, and a graceful woman is sitting on it. Beside the chair, there are several White Sun war gods wearing white armor. White Sun Duke was behind the crystal curtain and couldn't see her face. But in the main hall, he could feel her powerful aura. She was indeed a very powerful woman. Qin Yun secretly used his heavenly eye. A blue light pulsed in the depths of his pupils as the threads penetrated the crystal curtain. He originally thought that he could see Bai Suxin's face, but Bai Suxin was wearing a mask behind the curtains. If he used a more powerful third eye, he would be able to see through the mask and even see everything under the clothes, but it was very immoral to do so. As the Nine-Yang Divine King, he had a powerful inheritance like the heavenly eye. He would not use it to do such a wretched thing. Ling Yin'er often urged him to do it, but he did not do it. Bai Changshu had been standing here for an entire night because this matter had a lot to do with him. When he heard about what had happened at the gathering, he was so scared that he broke out in cold sweat. From the bottom of his heart, he was filled with admiration for Qin Yun. He actually dared to make such a big fuss out of this matter. The reason why Qin Yun did not kill Ling Lanyu back then was because he wanted them to make things clear in front of King White Sunday. From Xiao Yuanmei, he found out that Bai Suxin is a very understanding and reasonable woman. So now he is very relieved. There are 3 powerful old men present. Their eyes are not kind. They are filled with viciousness as they swept Qin Yun's body. They are all divine generals. Yet their sons were ruthlessly slapped by Qin Yun in front of everyone. The Dean of Heaven Law Pavilion's Devil Court is an old man. He is wearing a pointed black magic hat and black magic robe. In his hand, he is holding a magic staff made of crystal skull. This old man wearing magic attire is Ling Lanyu's father. He is also the Dean of Devil Court. His eyes are gloomy as he stared at Qin Yun. There is also an old man wearing luxurious golden embroidered clothes. He is Fan family's patriarch. Now his eyes are also filled with viciousness as he stared at Qin Yun. Qin Yun is actually very calm. He is treating them as if they do not exist. He is looking at Bai Suxin behind the curtain. Mother Exen, I am back. Xiao Yuanmei is worried that Bai Suxin will be angry. She said in low voice, "This is my little big brother." Little big brother? Ling Lanyu and others are startled. Yesterday, it was little brother. Today is big brother. Xiao Yuanmei did not lie in front of King White Sunday. This matter has been investigated. Yuanmei, your little big brother is not in the wrong. You could be at ease. Bai Suxin's calm and gentle voice can be heard. Originally, this voice sounded very comfortable, but it also contained a hidden power. This kind of power can only be obtained by someone who has been in a high position for many years. This kind of power is very natural. It is not aimed at anyone. It is something that can only be formed after many years. If it was someone else, they might be scared by this kind of power. But Qin Yun, who has been the 9-Sun Palace King for many years, also has this kind of king's power. However, he is very good at restraining it, so others cannot sense it. If one wants to compare this kind of power, Qin Yun is not any weaker than King White Sun. He is even stronger than her. King White Sun is still unable to restrain this kind of power, but Qin Yun can completely restrain it. This is the disparity between their realms. Thank you, Mother Xin, Xiao Yuanmei said with smile. Heaven Law Pavilion's Devil Court's Dean is called Ling Lei. At this moment, he is very dissatisfied. He said with a voice filled with resentment, "King White Sun, this brat's attack is so heavy, he directly shattered other people's life divine crystal. His actions are so ruthless. Don't tell me we are letting him off just like that. Your Majesty, this brat is too arrogant. The sons of our 3 divine generals only said a few words to him, yet he slapped our faces to pieces. This person is very vicious. Princess Yuanmei is Princess Yuanmei. This brat is this brat. We have to look at them separately. We can't protect him just because of the princess. He hit my son. This matter is his fault, right? My son only spoke harshly to him, but that doesn't mean he can hit people. Those three divine generals do not want to let Qin Yun off just like that. Fan family's patriarch said, Your Majesty, Lung Hui's arm was crippled by him. Her life crystal also cracked. Because of this, she is seriously injured. He can even attack a woman so heavily. He is truly too vicious. Qin Yun's expression is calm. He said with sneer, Those masked men have command medallions from the King Mansion. Without these few command medallions, would they dare to be so arrogant in White Sun Sky City? Who do those command medallions belong to? The life crystal of the masked men was shattered by Qin Yun. They were also brought back by White Sun War God. We gave them the command medallions to make it convenient for them to act. If anything happens to them, it has nothing to do with us. One of the divine generals said coldly, Brat, don't mix these two things together. You hit the sons of our three divine generals. How are we going to settle this? Qin Yun waved his hand and said, Don't worry, I will settle this with you later. He looked at the Fan family's patriarch and said, Fan Lung Hui killed one of Granny Tang's disciples. I only injured one of her arms, so this debt is not settled yet. As soon as Qin Yun finished speaking, he used Void Step and instantly appeared beside Fan Lung Hui. The myriad heaven divine saber already appeared in his hand. The divine saber slashed out. The space suddenly surged and fluctuated violently. This is the most difficult move among the 9 styles of heaven extermination, void fragmentation. It can break the void. This move requires the support of an extremely strong spatial power in order to be able to use this move. This move was created by Yang Shiryu by combining Qin Yun's Nether Sun and the Star-Breaking Palm Dao technique. It combined the essence of a star-breaking palm, and only he could use it. Qin Yun's sudden attack caught everyone off guard. After all, the people in this hall are all extremely powerful people. The Fan family's patriarch shouted angrily and quickly released a burst of divine power to form a powerful barrier to protect Fan Lung Hui. The reason why Qin Yun used the void fragmentation move was to cross space and directly attack Fan Lung Hui. Even though there was a powerful barrier blocking it, it could not stop Qin Yun's power to cross space. The void fragmentation power arrived in an instant and landed on Fan Lung Hui's body. Hua! The power to shatter space was like the sound of waves. After Fan Lung Hui was hit, her body twisted and disappeared. Qin Yun was able to use this move because he relied on the powerful Nether Sunday. The Nether Sun itself has a kind of power that can distort everything. Fan Lung Hui is gone. Her body gradually disappeared amidst the distortion. This kind of destructive method caused all the experts present to be alarmed. Even King White Sun and those White Sun War Gods are extremely shocked. This is the first time they have seen this kind of power. He killed as he said he would. His attack was extremely sudden. What is even more terrifying is that even those experts were unable to block Qin Yun's attack. Seeing Fan Lung Hui's death, Zhang Anxiao and Ling Lanyu's body trembled once again, and they quickly hid behind some elders. You? Fan family's patriarch pointed at Qin Yun and shouted angrily. He also did not know what to say. If you don't accept it, then come and kill me. Qin Yun said coldly. Fan Lung Hui killed my friend disciple. I am only avenging my friend. A divine general said in a deep voice, Revenge should be done outside the White Sun heavenly city. You attacked in the main hall. You are truly reckless. You really don't put our King White Sun in your eyes. Another divine general narrowed his old eyes under his white eyebrows. When he opened his eyes, killing intent burst out from his eyes. Xian Yang, Xiao Yuanmei immediately shouted, Yuanmei's little brother, you have indeed crossed the line. Bai Suxin's voice arrived. A semicircle crystal cover suddenly flew out from behind the curtain. It looks like a transparent crystal bowl turned upside down and covered Qin Yun. Xiao Yuanmei also knows that this is Bai Suxin protecting Qin Yun to prevent others from suddenly attacking. Furthermore, it is also to prevent Qin Yun from attacking again. Your Majesty, this person killed people in the main hall. How do you want to deal with him? Fan family's patriarch is very angry. Although Fan Lung Hui's death is not a loss to Fan family, she was killed in front of him. This is very shameful. What does how I deal with this person have to do with you? Bai Suxin's voice became somewhat cold. Fan family patriarch's expression slightly changed. He promptly said, I took the liberty to ask too much. Please forgive me. Chapter 2254. When everyone saw Bai Suxin trap Qingyun, they all relaxed a lot. They're just curious as to how Bai Suxin will deal with Qingyun. They feel that even if Bai Suxin punishes Qingyun, she will not be heavy-handed because he is related to Xiao Yuanmei. If Xiao Yuanmei pleads for leniency in front of Bai Suxin, she will definitely be lenient. This is my palace hall. Attacking here means that you are not putting me in your eyes. No matter who it is, you will have to bear the consequences. Bai Suxin's light and graceful voice is somewhat ice-cold. She is indeed somewhat angry. Qingyun attacking, just like that, makes her feel very awkward. If she attacks Qingyun, Xiao Yuanmei will definitely be dissatisfied. If she doesn't attack, where will her prestige as Prince White Sun go? Prince White Sun, you were the one in the wrong first. Qingyun probed just now. His spatial power can be transmitted out. It means that he can use transcending void step to leave this bowl at any time. What? Saying that Prince White Sun was in the wrong first? The divine generals in the palace hall, as well as the armored White Sun war god, are all furious. In an instant, Qingyun sensed several angry gazes looking at him. The people in the palace hall are all very strong and have very high status. Apart from Bai Qiangshu and Xiao Yuanmei, everyone else is very angry. These are offensive words to Bai Suxin. It is equivalent to provoking her, the high and mighty Prince White Sun. Bai Suxin is also somewhat angry, but she still used a calm and graceful voice to ask, What did I do wrong? Your Majesty, don't talk nonsense with him. Let's go beat him to death. A divine general shouted in anger. This brat thinks that by relying on his relationship with the princess, he can do whatever he wants. He is so arrogant in front of your Majesty. We cannot let him off lightly. When those divine generals spoke, they did not dare to look at Xiao Yuanmei. Xiao Yuanmei also did not say anything. She just stood there and calmly watched. She is completely at ease with Qingyun. She also knows that Bai Suxin will not harm Qingyun. Prince White Sun, you should know about this matter very well. Then you must know that it was Heaven Law Pavilion's devil courts, people who attacked Granny Tang, right? And behind them, Fan Linghui, Zhang Anxiao, as well as Fan family's people added fuel to the fire. Qingyun said, Don't talk nonsense. Fan family's patriarch angrily said. Qingyun ignored him and said with a sneer, King White Sun, these people are causing trouble in your territory and injuring my friend. If you don't give me an explanation, then I can only ask them for an explanation myself. When I was in the hotel, I didn't kill them and let you come here. I gave you some face and let you deal with them. Otherwise, I would have already killed them. But you let me down. You didn't punish them, so I had to do it myself. You think you're the great king's face? Qin's yin with you? Also, do you know what kind of existence the Heavenly Law Pavilion is? The Heavenly Law Pavilion has special treatment here. Naturally, we have to be cautious. The Dean of the Sky Law Pavilion's Demon Court, Ling Lei, sneered. This kid is really ignorant. The relationship between our Sky Law Pavilion and White Sun Sky City is not something he can imagine. Yin is Tian Tian, the Qiu Tianda said. Qingyun suddenly laughed and said, I heard that Prince White Sun once defeated Heaven Law Pavilion's Xinyu Tianlong. I never thought that White Sun Immortal would be afraid of a mere Heaven Law Pavilion's Devil Court. Bastard, don't try to sow discord between Heaven Law Pavilion and White Sun City. A divine general furiously shouted. Qingyun looked at Bai Suxin behind the curtains and roared with laughter. King White Sun, if the fellows from the Heavenly Dharma Pavilion's Demon Court were to plunder White Sun City, would you sit back and watch? Furthermore, would you treat them as esteemed guests? This matter is clearly Heaven Law Pavilion's Devil Court overstepping their bounds. Moreover, they are acting under the prince's banner. Bai Qiangshu suddenly said, Great King, you did not handle this matter well. You did not properly establish your prestige. By Changshu, don't think that just because you opened that box, you are qualified to criticize the great king. Shut up. A divine general is very angry and said, "The great king is so wise. It is not your turn to make irresponsible remarks." Because Bai Qiangshu clearly wants to drag those three divine generals into the water. Qin Yun continued to ridicule. "Why's my ass? I want to see if she doesn't even know that you formed a clique to play her in circles." "Enough," Bai Suxin shouted coldly. Her tone became very ice-cold. It even contains a trace of anger. It is unknown who her anger is directed at. Everyone immediately shut up. Even those divine generals and Ling Lei's group admire Qin Yun from the bottom of their hearts. He actually dared to criticize the powerful White Sun Prince like this. "Yuemei, come in," Bai Suxin said softly. Xiao Yuemei promptly ran into the curtain. Three-Eye King of Three-Eye Heavenly City is about to arrive. I will go out and welcome him. You all wait here. I will handle the matter from just now. Bai Suxin finished speaking, got up, and walked out of a door inside the curtain. Not long after she left, Ling Lei said with a smile, "Three-Eye King is coming? This is great. Our Devil Court's relationship with Three-Eye King is very good. Now, no matter if it's the White Sun King or the Three-Eyed King, both of them need our help." Ling Lei is the Dean of Devil Court. It is unknown what he has in his hands, but it caused Bai Suxin to be very afraid of him. Qin Yun saw through it with just a glance. A divine general angrily said to Bai Qiangshu in cold voice, "Bai Qiangshu, you are just a little city master. You only open the king's small treasure chest, yet you think so highly of yourself. No matter how strong your inscription technique is, you are still low in our eyes." Ling Lei said with sneer, "It's just a little trick. If his inscription technique was so awesome, White Sun Prince would not have come to our Heavenly Law Pavilion for help. Indeed, Heavenly Law Pavilion is the strongest in inscription technique. Even if it's the Three-Eye King from the Three-Eye Divine World, their inscription techniques are nothing in front of the Heavenly Law Pavilion." Fan Family's patriarch promptly flattered. Three-Eye Divine World's people all have three eyes. Those eyes are inscription's sacred pupils. They can make their inscription Tao even more powerful. Yet they are still helping Heavenly Law Pavilion to solve the problem of Heavenly Law Divine Runes. A divine general said with bright smile, "The most proficient in Heavenly Law Divine Runes is still Heavenly Law Pavilion. In the Heavenly Law universe, no one dares to offend Heavenly Law Pavilion." Ling Lanyu fiercely looked at Qin Yun and said angrily, "But this guy actually attacked me. I will definitely make him die a horrible death." Ling Lanyu and Zhang Anxiao's life divine crystals have been destroyed by Qin Yun. They can only cultivate from the beginning. If they had enough resources, they could still grow to their former peak. It would only take some time. Thinking of this, they hated Qin Yun even more. Ling Lanyu and Zhang Anxiao have recovered quite well. Although their life divine crystals have been destroyed, they are still in good spirits and can loudly curse Qin Yun. Therefore, they all walked towards Qin Yun. Qin Yun is covered by the crystal bowl Bai Suxin released. He can't fight out, and the outside can't fight in. Ling Lanyu stood beside the big bowl and looked at Qin Yun through the transparent crystal wall. He said with evil smile, "Do you really think that just because you have a good relationship with the princess, I can't do anything to you? Just you wait and see." Zhang Anxiao said with sneer, "Bastard brat, White Sun Prince has a request from Heavenly Law Pavilion. As long as Heavenly Law Pavilion asks, she will definitely hand you over to Heavenly Law Pavilion." Ha! Xiao Yuemei lightly snorted. She doesn't believe that Bai Suxin will hand over Qin Yun. Ling Lanyu said, "We will promise White Sun Prince that we won't kill this brat, but we will torture him and destroy his life divine crystal." Ling Lei said, "White Sun Prince will definitely promise us. She has no other choice. If we don't help her solve the problem she is facing, she won't be able to become White Sun Prince." Zhang Anxiao laughed loudly at Qin Yun and said, "Did you hear that? We will return the pain you made us suffer 10 times. Return 10 times? I think you won't have the chance." Qin Yun's two fingers joined together and condensed incomparably formidable 9 meridians divine power. Heaven-severing finger is brewing. Ha! Let's see how long you can be arrogant for. Ling Lanyu laughed loudly and said, "Just wait and see. White Sun Prince will definitely hand you over to us." Qin Yun condensed enough 9 meridians divine power and absorbed enough space divine power. He suddenly pointed his fingers and unleashed space-piercing finger. Space-piercing finger can attack through space. At this moment, Qin Yun shot out 2 powerful finger power through the crystal wall and instantly exploded Zhang Anxiao and Ling Lanyu's heads. At this moment, masked by Su Xin and 3-eyed middle-aged man walked in. They just happened to witness this scene. Qin Yun, who was trapped inside the crystal bowl, directly exploded Ling Lanyu and Zhang Anxiao's heads through the thick crystal wall. These 2 people don't have life divine crystal. They don't have any divine power to defend themselves. After being hit, they died on the spot, their souls scattered. The main hall is in an uproar. Especially Ling Lei, Devil Court's dean. He immediately flew into a rage and roared at Qin Yun. No one expected that by Su Xin's powerful crystal bowl would not be able to completely seal Qin Yun. Bai Su Xin slowly inhaled a mouthful of air and stared blankly at Qin Yun inside the crystal bowl. Only Xiao Yuanmei is not surprised at all. She guessed that Qin Yun is about to attack. Bai Qiangshu is also sweating profusely. He feels that Bai Su Xin is about to get angry. White Sun Prince, please hand this person over to our Heaven Law Pavilion to deal with. Otherwise, there will be nothing to discuss about our cooperation. Ling Lei said in deep voice. What happened? The 3-eyed middle-aged man was the 3-eyed king. 3-eyed king has 1 eye on his forehead, other than that he is the same as a normal person. Ling Lei said, 3-eyed king, you come and judge. Soon after, Ling Lei roughly explained the situation to 3-eyed king. After 3-eyed king heard this, he said with sneer, this brat is indeed too arrogant. Dying 10 times is not enough. Chapter 22:55. After learning of the heavenly Dharma inheritance bead, Qin Yun knew that it was definitely a mysterious inheritance of the heavenly Dharma universe. He had never heard Bai Qiangshu or Granny Tang mention this before. It could be seen that this kind of thing could only be mastered by very powerful people. Xiao Yuanmei is the 9-sun divine maiden. Her entry into the heavenly law universe is a reward from the myriad realms' divine sons. After entering the heavenly law universe, she must have obtained something and become even stronger. She also did not mention this matter to Qin Yun. When she mentioned the heavenly technique inheritance pearl, Bai Su Xin hesitated a little because it was very important to her. White Sun King, you should have 2 or 3 beads of heavenly law inheritance, right? You must have obtained the heavenly law inheritance bead for a very long time, but you still haven't been able to break the seal. Only our heavenly law pavilion has the secret method to break the inheritance bead. Ling Lei said proudly. Is the Heaven Law Pavilion really capable of breaking the Heaven Law seal? A divine general asked. It can be broken, but it won't be a complete success. Half and half. Even though it might fail, there's still hope. It's better than having no clue at all, right? Ling Lei said. After saying that, he looked at Qin Yun, who was covering the big bowl. His eyes looked as if he wanted to swallow Qin Yun alive. Qin Yun was also very interested in the heavenly Dharma inheritance bead. If it landed in his hands, he might have a way to open it. Bai Su Xin also looked at Qin Yun. Her mask did not have any holes, so her eyes could not be seen, but everyone knew that she was hesitating. Xin Yang, he is my little big brother. Xiao Yuanmei walked out from behind the curtain and said in low voice, my little big brother is very awesome. Of course I know he's very powerful. There was a hint of bitterness in Bai Su Xin's voice. If Qin Yun had not killed people here, she would not have landed in such a conflicted situation. My king, the little treasure chest you gave me was opened by this little brother Qin. Bai Qiangshu suddenly said, you weren't the one who broke it? A divine general asked in shock. Did I say I opened it? Bai Qiangshu snorted coldly. I only said that the small treasure chest was opened. I never said that I opened it myself. He really opened it. Bai Suxin asked in slight shock. Your Majesty, that small treasure chest has been there for many years. It is normal for the runes inside to fail. The old divine general said in a low voice, Don't listen to them. Hurry up and hand this kid over to the Heaven Law Pavilion. Three-Eyed King shook his head and said, King White Sun, you should be clear about my inscription level. Within the Heavenly Law universe, I am one of the best inscription masters. Even I am unable to break the Heavenly Law seal, let alone this little demon. Qin Yun suddenly said, King White Sun, did you obtain your Heavenly Dharma inheritance pearl from Xinyu Tianlong? When everyone heard Qin Yun's question, they were secretly alarmed. The powerful warriors here more or less knew that King White Sun and Xinyu Tianlong had fought, and in the end, Xinyu Tianlong had lost something to Bai Suxin. That's right. Why are you asking about this? Bai Suxin asked in puzzlement. Can Xinyu Tianlong break the seal of the laws of heaven? Qin Yun said with a faint smile, I, a profound god, can enter the heaven law universe earth because the divine universe heavenly dragon let me in. Do you know why? Then how did you get in? The three-eyed king sneered. Don't tell me you crawled in like a rat? A thing like you can't even last 5 breaths in front of the divine universe heavenly dragon. You understand Xinyu Tianlong's strength? Qin Yun asked. Of course I understand. I met Xinyu Tianlong a few times. My strength is far below his. You can't even last 3 moves in front of me. Don't even talk about Xinyu Tianlong. The three-eyed king said with sneer. My strength is indeed below Xinyu Tianlong's, but because I helped him break the heavenly law seal, he let me in. Qin Yun looked at Bai Suxin and said, King White Sun, seeing that your relationship with Yueme is pretty good, I won't ask for anything in return. I will help you break the heavenly law seal. Hearing Qin Yun's words, Ling Lei, Three-Eyed King, and a few divine generals suddenly burst into laughter. Others also roared with laughter. Only Bai Qiangshu and Xiao Yueme know that Qin Yun is not trying to impress the crowd. He can really do it. Bai Qiangshu is very clear about Qin Yun's inscription level. It is unfathomable. Three-Eyed King looked at Bai Suxin and said with smile, King White Sun, you are a meticulous woman. Surely you won't believe this brat's nonsense. Your Majesty, he is deliberately deceiving you. Quickly hand him over to our friends from Heavenly Law Pavilion. An old divine general shook his head and said with smile, Still not asking for anything in return? This is too funny. You are talking as if it is the truth. Then tell me, what did you ask Xinyu Tianlong to help him break the Heavenly Law seal? Ling Lei laughed loudly and said, Xinyu Tianlong gave me a dragon pearl. Qin Yun earnestly said, He gave me his divine, universe heavenly dragon pearl. This caused Three-Eyed King and Ling Lei to burst into laughter again. You motherfucker, you are truly a genius. You can even speak this kind of nonsense with a straight face. Xinyu Tianlong gave you his dragon pearl? Ha ha ha. Three-Eyed King is grinning from ear to ear. Do you know how important Xinyu Tianlong's dragon pearl is? Not to mention you. Even Heavenly Law Pavilion's Grand Elder, such a powerful existence, cannot obtain Xinyu Tianlong's dragon pearl. Ling Lei is about to cry from laughing. Apparently he forgot that his son's head was exploded by Qin Yun. This is indeed Qin Yun's nonsense. He is saying this to make White Sun King believe him. Qin Yun shook his head and sighed, then said, White Sun King, do you think this broken bowl could trap me? The reason why Yueme brought me to see you is because I know you need help, and I can definitely help you. Finished speaking, he used transcending void step and came out of the crystal bowl in a flash. Everyone immediately cried out in alarm. Even experts like Bai Suxin and Three-Eyed King feel that this is inconceivable. After Qin Yun came out, he immediately took out Xinyu Tianlong's dragon pearl. Xinyu Tianlong's dragon pearl is flickering with intense blue light. The heavenly dragon's tyrannical aura is like raging sea and stormy sea. It is whistling through the palace hall. Everyone present inhaled a mouthful of cold air. Even Xiao Yuanmei is extremely shocked. Everyone knows how powerful Xinyu Tianlong is. Especially by Su Xin, she fought against Xinyu Tianlong before, but at that time, Xinyu Tianlong let her win. Of course, the person who understands Xinyu Tianlong the most is none other than Ling Lei, Heaven Law Pavilion's Devil Court's dean. After staying in Heaven Law Pavilion for so long, he is very clear about Xinyu Tianlong's strength. Qin Yun stored away Xinyu Tianlong's dragon pearl, but everyone is still looking at him in shock. Xinyu Tianlong's dragon pearl is actually in the hands of a young boy. Qin Yun looked at Ling Lei and said with smile, "Your Heaven Law Pavilion's inscription technique is the strongest, right? But in my eyes, it is only SOSO. Otherwise, a guy like Ling Lanyu would not have been so easily killed by me." "You." Ling Lei immediately became furious. He suddenly raised his hands. His 10 fingers moved at lightning speed and drew a group of runes in a flash. This group of runes is very special. The frame is a hexagonal star, and there are all kinds of complicated runes inside. Ling Lei directly used inscription battle technique and drew a group of powerful runes, then enveloped Qin Yun. Bai Su Xin lightly shouted, "Dean Ling, what are you doing?" She raised her lily-white hand and shot out a white and formidable divine power, wanting to destroy the inscription Great Formation enveloping Qin Yun. This inscription Great Formation is very formidable. Bai Su Xin's formidable divine power can only penetrate the formation and hit the stalactites. It is basically unable to damage the formation. The red inscription Great Formation enveloped Qin Yun's body. It is as if a net is wrapping around Qin Yun and divine power gushed out. This is a kind of magic. Qin Yun immediately sensed the divine power madly drilling into his body. Ling Lei laughed loudly and said, "This brat is dead for sure. This is our Devil Court's heavenly witch puppet formation. He is trapped and will soon become my puppet. Just this little trick is not enough to take me down," Qin Yun said with sneer. Qin Yun's body trembled. The magic formation on his body suddenly dispersed, turned into a burst of wind, and was blown away. He fused with magic bloodline before and cultivated magic body, so he is not afraid of this kind of magic. So he very easily got rid of the magic formation. Ling Lei saw Qin Yun easily got rid of his magic formation and immediately cried out in fear. He retreated a few steps. His expression is very unsightly. And now, Qin Yun immediately used Transcending Void Step and returned to the crystal bowl. It is safer inside. Bai Su Xin feels very helpless looking at this. Her crystal bowl is very powerful. It is a formidable divine tool she brought from White Sun Divine Realm. Yet Qin Yun can enter and exit it as he pleases. My cultivation is low. My foundation is shallow. I am not an opponent of old things like you. I can't provoke you, but can I just hide? Qin Yun slowly sat down inside the crystal bowl and looked at Ling Lei with a smile. Ling Lei gritted his teeth in anger. He really did not expect that this little youth would be so powerful. Qin Yun also sensed that 3I King condensed a very formidable divine power and wanted to attack. That is why he immediately entered the crystal bowl. Many people suspect that they saw wrongly. Ling Lei, the Dean of Devil Court, released a magic formation, but it was directly broken. Qin Yun has the Divine Universe Heavenly Dragon Pearl. It proves that he made a deal with Divine Universe Heavenly Dragon. Therefore, no one dares to doubt his words. Xinyang, he can truly break the Heavenly Law Seal. Xiao Yuanmei pulled by Su Xin's lily-white hand and said with light smile, "Let him try it now." Ling Lei also doesn't dare to act blindly without thinking. He said with sneer, "How can the Heavenly Law Seal be so easily broken? Even if he can break it, it will only be a fluke. White Sun King, you must think carefully. If you fail, your Heavenly Law Inheritance Pearl will be damaged." Bai Su Xin is indeed hesitating. "White Sun King, if you don't trust me, then I won't help you. It is truly a waste of my good intentions." Qin Yun is holding his head, lying on the ground. He leisurely said, "Hand me over to that guy. He can't do anything to me anyways." All right, I will let you try. Bai Suxin finally agreed. But I don't want to help you now. Qin Yun sighed and said, just now, that old man broke my magic formation and hurt me a bit. You, White Sun King, didn't protect me at all. Bai Suxin gently lifted the crystal bowl and walked inside with Xiao Yuanmei. Chapter 2256. Although no one can see Bai Suxin's expression under the mask, they can imagine that she must be very angry and her expression must be ice cold. When Qin Yun was attacked by Ling Lei, although Bai Suxin attacked, she was unable to block Ling Lei's magic formation. After Qin Yun broke Ling Lei's magic formation, he thought that Bai Suxin would attack Ling Lei, but she did not, so he is somewhat dissatisfied. Ling Lei attacked in this palace hall. Why is nothing happening to him, and Qin Yun, is being pointed at by everyone? Bai Suxin really wants to kick Qin Yun. She wants to leave in anger, but she has no other choice. Those heavenly law inheritance pearls are very important. They have been away from their homeland for many years. It is very difficult for them to return. And the reason why they entered the heavenly law universe was to obtain heavenly law inheritance pearls. Only by obtaining this kind of heavenly law inheritance can they become stronger and break through their bottleneck. Otherwise, when they go to divine desolate later, they will not have enough strength and will not have a foothold. Bai Suxin cannot hand Qin Yun over to Ling Lei, so she can only choose to believe Qin Yun. This is mainly because she believes in Xiao Yuanmei. Were you feeling unwell? Bai Suxin felt conflicted and asked in low voice. This caused many people to be very dissatisfied, especially those divine generals and seniors of the royal palaces. They immediately let out all kinds of angry voices. King, this brat is clearly playing with you. This kind of little hoodlum should be killed with one palm. An old man said, quickly hand him over to Dean Ling. Let him help you break the heavenly law seal. Why do you have to suffer? That bastard brat has divine universe dragon pearl, but it doesn't mean he can really break the heavenly law seal. It is very likely that he used some evil method to obtain the dragon pearl. The royal palace's divine generals are all biased towards heavenly law pavilion because they all want to curry favor with heavenly law pavilion. Ling Lei said, King White Sun, don't suffer. As long as you hand over that brat to me, everything will be fine. Three-Eye King shook his head and said with smile, King White Sun, you are a grand and powerful queen, yet you actually humiliate yourself like this. It is truly laughable. Bai Suxin did not pay attention to those people. Instead, she squatted down and asked in soft voice, Little brother, quickly tell me where you feel unwell. I will help you massage it. Qin Yun, who was lying on the ground, sat up and said with smile, My back is uncomfortable. Help me massage it. Bai Suxin really massaged Qin Yun's back. Qin Yun also smiled with a look of enjoyment. It made the people outside jealous as they let out all sorts of curses. Big brother, you have to promise me that you can break the seal of the laws of heaven. If you can't, I'll be angry. Bai Suxin's voice was very gentle, but there was a bone-chilling coldness hidden within it. I have full confidence in breaking the heavenly law seal, and I won't fail. He didn't even have full confidence in that old fellow from the magic court. So why bother looking for him? If you fail, wouldn't you lose the rare heavenly Dharma inheritance beads? Said Qin Yun. That's good. Bai Suxin trusted Qin Yun mainly because of the treasure chest. The small treasure chest was sealed very well. Without a specialized key, there was no way to open it. However, it was broken by Qin Yun. Therefore, she felt that Qin Yun had the ability to break the heavenly law seal. The dignified queen of White Sun Heaven City is now massaging the back of a young boy. If people did not see it with their own eyes, they would not believe it, especially Three-Eye King. He knew that Bai Suxin is very strong, yet she did this kind of thing. It shocked him and made him feel very uncomfortable. My thigh is also uncomfortable. Quickly help me massage it. Qin Yun said again. Bai Suxin grumbled with hidden bitterness. She can only go over and massage Qin Yun's thigh. Qin Yun took a whiff of the fragrance on Bai Suxin's body. He is very much enjoying her massage. There's a smile on his face. It made people want to beat him up. Ling Lei suddenly said, "Three-Eye King, I will help you break the heavenly law seal now. Take out your heavenly law inheritance bead. I will help you break it for free. You only need to promise me that you will help me capture that little demon in the future." "No problem, I promise you. That despicable little demon is clearly not a good person. From now on, he will be my greatest enemy." Three-Eye King very straightforwardly agreed, and then took out a heavenly law inheritance bead. Heavenly law inheritance bead is blue. It looks like an apple. Heavenly law divine runes have appeared on its surface. These heavenly law divine runes are bright runes. They are flickering. They are very complex. "What kind of inheritance is inside?" Ling Lei took it and said in amazement, "This heavenly law inheritance bead is not small. It is obviously of very high quality. It must be an exceptional inheritance." He finished speaking and took out a golden writing brush. The tip of the writing brush is very sharp. It looks like a needle. The brush is moving like dragons and snakes on the heavenly law inheritance bead. It looks like it is carving runes. Fan Family Master said, "Heavenly Law Pavilion has many heavenly law inheritances. Magic should be one of them, right?" "Indeed, our magic is very strong." Ling Lei proudly smiled and said, "It is because I have mastered powerful magic runes that I can break this heavenly law seal." Bai Suxin is helping Qin Yin massage his legs. She also looked at Ling Lei and said in low voice, "My heavenly law inheritance bead is bigger than his. Help me massage my shoulders." Qin Yin said again, "How long do you want a massage?" Bai Suxin said in low voice, "For UMA's sake, can't you just let it go? Who told you not to help me beat up that old man just now? He attacked you in your great hall, and you didn't beat him to death. Then I'll punish you by massaging my back." Qin Yin curled his lips and said, "This King White's son, he doesn't have any imposing manner at all." Everyone is now seriously looking at Ling Lei, seeing how smoothly he is using the inscription brush to draw the bead. They are all praising him and flattering him in all kinds of ways. "Dean Ling, we are all willing to treat that brat as a great enemy. You should also help us break the heavenly law seal for free," a divine general said. "Aren't you afraid of King White's son?" After Ling Lei was flattered, his face is filled with pride. He proudly said, "If you are not afraid of King White's son, then capture that brat, and I will help you." "No problem, no problem," a divine general said with smile. "No matter what, we will capture that brat." They all have heavenly law inheritance bead in their hands. Ling Lei said before that if he helps them break the heavenly law seal, he will receive a lot of rewards. Qin Yin is sitting in the large crystal bowl. He is using his heavenly eye to carve runes on Ling Lei's heavenly law inheritance bead. Then he said in low voice, "Little queen, that old man is about to fail. Just wait and see." The crystal bowl is being controlled by Qin Yin, is sealing the sound so that it cannot be transmitted out. Bai Suxin can also sense that the bowl is being secretly controlled by Qin Yin, but she did not say anything. She asked in doubt, "How can you tell? Will he really fail?" And that old man only has a smattering of knowledge regarding the heavenly law seal. It should be said that the entire heavenly law pavilion is like this. Qin Yin said, "Brother, you already have a very good understanding of the heavenly law seal?" Xiao Yuanmei said in shock. "I can tell with one look." Qin Yin said with smile, "If he truly fails, Three-Eye King's 3 eyes will cry until they go blind." Xiao Yuanmei giggled and said, "Little queen, if something happens to Three-Eye King's heavenly law inheritance bead, you must think of a way to get it." Qin Yin said again, "Don't call me little queen." Bai Suxin said in low voice, "You are clearly a child. Why are you always pretending to be an adult?" "It was Yuanmei who turned me into a child," Qin Yin said with smile. At this time, Ling Lei's expression changed. His forehead is filled with sweat. Seeing his appearance, Bai Suxin, who is currently massaging Qin Yun's back, is secretly happy in her heart because Qin Yun's words are correct. What made her even more happy is that Qin Yun truly has a high level. Otherwise, he would not be able to tell that Ling Lei is about to fail. The heavenly law inheritance bead in Ling Lei's hand is blue. It is originally emitting blue-colored light. The heavenly law divine runes on its surface are flickering. But now the entire bead suddenly became dim. Those heavenly law divine runes also disappeared. Ling Lei's expression is unsightly. He wiped his sweat, shook his head with frown, and said, "Three-Eye King, there's a big problem with your heavenly law inheritance bead. It caused me to fail and almost injured my soul." Then what about now? Three-Eye King is very anxious and asked, "This is a dead heavenly law inheritance bead. It is completely useless. Moreover, there's a very strong evil spirit inside. I was almost possessed by the evil spirit just now." Ling Lei's expression is that of someone who just escaped death. Bai Suxin lightly groaned because she knew that Ling Lei would fail, but pretended to say that there is a problem with the heavenly law inheritance bead. If Qin Yun did not tell her that he would fail, she might have also believed Ling Lei's nonsense. Ling Lei's expression suddenly became deathly pale. He said, "Three-Eye King, I am sorry. I tried my best, but was unable to expel the evil spirit inside. This heavenly law inheritance bead is dead." This. Three-Eye King's expression is also very unsightly. He is cursing in his heart. As everyone knows, there are heavenly law divine runes outside. The heavenly law inheritance bead and heavenly law divine runes can easily give birth to self-awareness. The self-awareness that appears inside the heavenly law seal will gradually turn into a soul and become an evil spirit that hides inside the inheritance bead. Ling Lei spouted nonsense with a deadpan expression. He repeatedly sighed and said, "What if you are not careful and get possessed by the evil spirit?" A divine general said with a face filled with worry. "Then the heavenly law divine runes will definitely invade your body and turn you into a heavenly law divine rune monster. This is also the reason why our heavenly law pavilion is not 100% sure of success," Ling Lei said. Ling Lei saw Three-Eye King holding the heavenly law inheritance bead with a pained expression and hastily shouted, "Three-Eye King, quickly throw away the heavenly law inheritance bead. The evil spirit inside the bead will be reborn because of the negative emotions in your heart and devour your soul. It is very dangerous." Ling Lei is the dean of the Magic Academy. Everyone naturally believes him. Three-Eye King also promptly threw away the heavenly law inheritance bead. Bai Suxin also walked out and picked up the heavenly law inheritance bead. "White Sun King, this is very dangerous. Quickly throw away the inheritance bead." Ling Lei hastily shouted, "This hall is my territory. You are randomly throwing away dangerous things. Have you ever considered my feelings?" Bai Suxin coldly snorted. "Since this dangerous thing has been thrown away, I can only personally take care of it." Chapter 2257. When they saw Bai Suxin pick up the black pearl, many of the powerful fighters in the area became incredibly worried, especially the divine generals. They are worried that after Bai Suxin is possessed by the evil spirit, she will start a massacre. At that time, they won't be able to deal with her and will be seriously injured. "Dean Ling, what will happen if someone is possessed by the evil spirit?" someone anxiously asked. "The consequences will be very serious. Evil spirit is very evil. Once it is possessed by an expert, it will start a massacre." Ling Lei shouted in panic, "White Sun King, quickly destroy that pearl." Bai Suxin has already entered the crystal bowl. She handed over the pearl to Qin Yun and said, "Didn't you all want this guy to die? I will give him the pearl and let him die." Qin Yun received the heavenly Dharma inheritance pearl and immediately injected powerful blood soul powers into it to stabilize the heavenly Dharma divine runes that were gradually self-destructing. Qin Yun has cultivated blue heavenly blood and also has the Empyrean inscription spirit. In addition, he has the 10th heavenly Tao image as well as the imperial heaven diagram that allowed him to cultivate a very special blood soul power. When his blood soul power entered the pearl, he sensed the heavenly law divine rune inside regenerating. Bai Suxin said, "Little brother, you said that your inscription technique is very strong, far superior to Heavenly Law Pavilion. Now let's see whether or not you can revive the pearl and break the Heavenly Law seal." Ling Lei's expression slightly changed. He thought not good in his heart, because he realized that Bai Suxin does not believe the evil spirit. The evil spirit's words are not made up by itself. The entire Heavenly Law Pavilion is making it up to deceive people, because they are not 100% sure that they can obtain the inheritance. Three-Eyed King felt very sad just now. Now that he saw Bai Suxin's action, he suddenly thought of something and looked at Ling Lei. Ling Lei promptly explained, "Three-Eyed King, that Heavenly Law Inheritance Pearl is truly dead. Everyone saw that the runes on the pearl's surface have disappeared. Moreover, the pearl has also become dim. He is very certain of this because every time they failed, the pearl would become like this and explode. Even all the genius inscription masters of Heavenly Law Pavilion could not figure out the reason. They also could not restore the pearl." The Three-Eyed King suddenly felt more at ease. This was because Ling Lei was not the only person in the upper echelons of the Heaven Law Pavilion that he had come into contact with. Ling Lei shouted, "White Sun Duke, you also have the Pearl of Heavenly Law Inheritance, right? I won't ask for anything in return. I will help you break the Heavenly Law seal." At that moment, the Heavenly Law Inheritance bead in Qin Yun's hand suddenly lit up. Just like before, it shimmered with a blue glow. Seeing this scene, everyone present cried out in alarm and hurriedly approached the crystal bowl, especially Three-Eyed King. He instantly flashed to the side of the crystal bowl. Separated by the crystal wall, he widened his three eyes and looked at the Heavenly Law Inheritance Pearl in Qin Yun's hand. Even Bai Suxin cried out in surprise. "He's alive!" The Three-Eyed King cried out, "What's going on?" "My bead of Heavenly Law Inheritance is alive." Bai Suxin immediately said, "Three-Eyed King, you threw the Heavenly Technique Inheritance Pearl away, and you threw it in my hall. I was the one who picked it up. That pearl is mine now, not yours." Three-Eyed King's expression changed. It became extremely unsightly. Then he fiercely looked at Ling Lei. Ling Lei is also standing outside the crystal wall. His face is filled with disbelief. His old mouth is wide open. He is firmly staring at the Heavenly Law Inheritance Pearl in Qin Yun's hand. Ling Lei is very clear that the Heavenly Law Inheritance Pearl doesn't have any evil spirit. The reason why he said that is because he doesn't want people to question his level. Qin Yun said with a smile, "There is no evil spirit at all. It was just that my technique was wrong and triggered the Heavenly Law Seal's self-destruction rune. Fortunately, I saved it in time. Otherwise, this pearl would have exploded and maybe even destroyed this tree." You're talking nonsense. Even if it exploded, the power would not be that great." Ling Lei shouted. "Dean Ling, what's going on? You don't understand anything. Are you trying to destroy my tree?" Bai Suxin said in deep voice. "No, I failed to break the Heavenly Law Seal. Even if the pearl exploded, the power would be very small." Ling Lei promptly explained, "Don't believe that little demon who doesn't understand anything." Xiao Yueme said with smile, "My brother doesn't understand, but how did he make the pearl come alive? You understand very well, yet you said that there's some evil spirit inside the pearl and that the pearl is already dead. You scared the Three-Eyed King so much that he threw the pearl away." Three-Eyed King looked at Ling Lei with an expression as if he wants to eat someone. He said in deep voice, "Dean Ling, please explain." Those divine generals, Fan Family's patriarch, and others are also looking at this scene with dumbfounded expression. They did not expect that this little youth Qin Yun would have true ability. Moreover, he is even more awesome than Ling Lei. At this time, a few inscription masters let out a burst of cry of alarm, because a large number of Heavenly Law Divine runes appeared on the surface of the pearl in Qin Yun's hand. Heavenly Law Divine runes originally have very strong regenerative power, and Qin Yun's blood spirit power can accelerate the regeneration of those Heavenly Law Divine runes. Ling Lei is unable to explain. He said hesitantly, "That brat is very strange. He must have used some kind of method to deceive us. He is inside White Sun King's sealing magic tool. Maybe it is an illusion. He is deliberately sowing discord among us. There is no evil spirit inside the heavenly law inheritance pearl. The reason why that old man spouted so much nonsense is to cover up his own lack of skill," Xiao Yuanmei said with charming smile. "Otherwise, everyone would question his skill." Qin Yun said with serious expression, "This heavenly law inheritance pearl is not small. The energy inside is very abundant. If the self-destruction great formation inside is activated, the power will be very strong. It will not be a small explosion. According to the energy fluctuation I sensed, it is enough to destroy this tree." Ling Lei's expression changed again because he somewhat believes in Qin Yun. The one who is the most furious is Three-Eye King. His gloomy expression looks like he wants to gnaw Ling Lei's old bones off at any moment. Ling Lei doesn't dare to look at Three-Eye King. Now he feels extremely guilty because he truly deceived Three-Eye King. If Qin Yun can break the heavenly law seal and obtain the heavenly law divine runes inside the pearl, Ling Lei feels that he might not be able to return to heavenly law pavilion safely. Three-Eye King is after all the king of Three-Eye Heavenly City. Although he is not the strongest in heavenly law universe, if he goes all out, he is still very dreadful. Qin Yun took out the floating cloud divine needle. His expression is very grave as he said, "Little queen, Yuanmei, you two go outside." "Why? I will stay beside you. If something unexpected happens, I will be able to protect you," Bai Suxin promptly said. "If something unexpected happens, I will be fine, but you two might be injured. Quickly go out." Qin Yun urged, "Hurry up." This huge inverted crystal bowl looked like a very powerful magic treasure, but Qin Yun knew that this thing was not very reliable. "Xinyan, let's go out." Xiao Yuanmei promptly pulled Bai Suxin and said in low voice, "Little brother is very reliable. Don't worry." Bai Suxin can only trust Xiao Yuanmei and leave together with her. After leaving, Qin Yun took out the 9 altars and activated the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. Seeing Qin Yun activate the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation, Xiao Yuanmei realized that the heavenly law inheritance pearl is very dreadful. Qin Yun can truly sense the formidable energy inside the heavenly law inheritance pearl. If it suddenly explodes, the might will be hard to imagine. There is indeed a soul inside. If we carelessly awaken that soul body, it will activate the self-destruction formation. Qin Yun took out the spirit creation heavenly cauldron. He can sense that the soul body is very formidable. It is equivalent to the soul inside the self-destruction formation. It seems like the inheritance sealed inside this heavenly law seal is very strong. Why is it sealed like this? Qin Yun is even more curious about the inheritance sealed inside. He placed the heavenly law inheritance pearl inside the spirit creation heavenly cauldron, refined the consciousness of the soul body inside, and then took out the pearl. Soon after, he began carving Nether Sun Totem on the pearl surface. He wants to borrow the Nether Sun Totem's devouring power to steadily devour the runes inside and remove the seal. His idea is the same as when he opened the small treasure chest. Although he refined the consciousness of the self-destruction soul body, Qin Yun is still very careful because he doesn't know what is inside the heavenly law seal. He could sense that there was a space within the inheritance pearl and that the heavenly method inheritance was stored within the pearl. Everyone is surrounding the pearl and looking at Qin Yun through the crystal walls. Bai Suxin is very nervous. She is very worried that Qin Yun will be injured. She can see that Qin Yun is very capable and also knows that he is Xiao Yuanmei's big brother, so she doesn't want anything bad to happen to him. And the one who is even more nervous is Ling Lei. He can sense Three-Eye King's formless fury. Three-Eye King is constantly cursing that old bastard Ling Lei in his heart. He knows that he was tricked. If Ling Lei said that he failed, he would not have thrown away the pearl and it would not have fallen into Bai Suxin's hands. If Bai Suxin did not give the pearl to Qin Yun, he would not have known that the pearl can still be saved and would not have regretted it so much. If not for so many people watching, Three-Eye King's 3 eyes would have already shed tears like rain. Qin Yun's progress is very fast. After carving the Nether Sun totem, he poured in formidable energy and activated the Nether Sun totem to devour. Very soon, the runes on the pearl's surface gradually disappeared. It was also like this before, so after Ling Lei saw this, he revealed a happy expression. As long as Qin Yun does not succeed, he can still deceive him. Ling Lei's happiness did not last for long. He felt very sad in his heart, because after the heavenly law divine runes on the pearl disappeared, the pearl is still flickering with blue light. If the heavenly law inheritance pearl dies, it will become very dim. But the pearl in Qin Yun's hand is emitting even stronger blue light. It is a sign that he is about to obtain the inheritance. It's coming out. Qin Yun hastily shouted. The pearl suddenly burst out with blue light and rushed out a very strong blue light wave. Boom! With a loud explosion, the pearl exploded, and the inside of it flickered with an intense golden light. The Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation is operating. Everyone cannot see Qin Yun's figure within the intense light. It is as if he suddenly disappeared. Chapter 2258. Bai Suxin wanted to rush in, but was suddenly pulled back by Xiao Yuanmei. Qin Yang, he is fine. Xiao Yuanmei knows that Qin Yun is still here and his condition is very stable. She just doesn't know where he is for now. The center of the Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation is emitting glaring light rays and burning blue flame. After Bai Suxin's crystal bowl was shattered, the formidable energy still rippled inside the hall, but soon it was sealed by the Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation. Everyone sensed the rippling energy wave and realized that what Qin Yun said before is true. The energy inside the Inheritance Pearl is very strong. If it did not stop it when it exploded, the entire hall would have been destroyed. Everyone is very curious. What kind of inheritance is this? How can it be so dreadful? Three-Eye King's heart is aching to death because this inheritance was originally his, but because of Ling Lei, he lost it in vain. That brat is done for, Ling Lei said in low voice. That bastard has some skill, but he is too confident. He clearly knows that there's a very strong energy inside the pearl, but he still wants to stay inside. He is definitely not willing to let go and is afraid that someone else will snatch the inheritance. The multicolored light within the Nine Dragons Heaven Origin Formation was very dazzling, but the experts here could see what was going on inside through the blinding light. They can't see Qin Yun. They all believe that Qin Yun is done for. Only Xiao Yuanmei knows that Qin Yun's soul is still here and he is not injured at all. Bai Suxin is very worried. She tightly held Xiao Yuanmei's hand and said in low voice, Yuanmei, will your little brother truly be fine? I can't see him. Of course he will be fine, Xiao Yuanmei said with smile. Qin Yang, why are you so worried about him? If not for him, the pearl would have exploded and destroyed this tree. Tree Lady would also have been destroyed. Bai Suxin is still very worried. She is looking at the center of the Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation with frown. The energy inside is very strong, but because it is sealed inside, it is not rushing out. The Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation is still operating. It is being controlled by Qin Yun secretly. The formation is formed by 9 small altars. Inside each altar there is a very big space. Qin Yun is now hiding inside one of the altars and operating the Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation. Xiao Yun, what kind of inheritance is it? Why is it so dreadful? Ling Yuner said, I don't know what it is for the time being. I only know that it is a very powerful flame. If I'd been a bit slower, I would have definitely been burnt. Qin Yun's body is still feeling some burning pain. If he had not cultivated the powerful heavenly blood, he would not have been able to withstand the heat wave that had just erupted. He was currently controlling the Nine Dragons' Heavenly Origin Formation, slowly absorbing the energy into the altar and storing it. The reason for the current situation was mainly because the bead contained a lot of energy. It was a self-destructive force. Qin Yun's method of breaking the heavenly law seal is mainly to devour all the sealing runes. Therefore, it will also cause the sealing runes that self-destruct energy to be damaged. Will the heavenly law inheritance be destroyed because of this? Ling Yun asked worriedly. It can't be. The heavenly law inheritance and the formidable destruction power are sealed inside the pearl. If it was destroyed, it would have already disappeared. Qin Yun is inside a small altar, sensing the situation outside. What exactly was the heavenly method inheritance in that bead? Everyone present was extremely curious. Only Heavenly Law Pavilion's people roughly know what the inheritance is, but they are treating it as a secret. Ling Lei is also very curious because the situation before his eyes is something his Heavenly Law Pavilion has never encountered before. Dean Ling, you must compensate me with a Heavenly Law inheritance bead. Three-Eye King looked at the dazzling, burning energy ball and said in deep voice, "This matter was originally your fault. Three-Eye King, we have something to talk about. No matter what, our Heavenly Law Pavilion is the only one that can break the Heavenly Law seal. Although that evil little demon is very capable, he is already finished," Ling Lei said in low voice. Three-Eye King coldly groaned and said, "I don't care. You owe me a Heavenly Law inheritance. If you don't return it, I will fight you to the death." He entered Heavenly Law Universe for so many years just to obtain the Heavenly Law inheritance. Although Heavenly Law Divine Rune is very powerful, it is very inferior compared to the mysterious Heavenly Law inheritance. It can be said that Three-Eye King has stayed in Heavenly Law Universe for a very long time. It is almost impossible for him to return to his hometown Three-Eye Divine World. He sacrificed so much just to obtain a Heavenly Law inheritance bead, and that bead has been swindled by Ling Lei. If he cannot obtain the Heavenly Law inheritance, Three-Eye King will be disheartened and will fight Ling Lei to the death. The Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation operated for a while and absorbed enough energy. The light from the center of the formation gradually weakened. It is no longer as intense as before. Is it going to appear? Everyone is filled with anticipation. Majority of the people here are experts, but they have never seen what kind of inheritance Heavenly Law inheritance bead looks like. Not long after, something gradually appeared in the center of the Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation. It is a very fine rune. After the light completely disappeared, an ancient character, Fire, appeared in the center of the formation. This character is like rippling water, is blue in color, and is formed from many complex runes. This is Heavenly Law Divine Rune transformed into a character? Bai Qiangshu exclaimed in admiration. It is actually Heavenly Universe Divine Mantra. Ling Lei's eyes are filled with greed. He shouted in alarm. Heavenly Universe Divine Mantra. So it is actually inside that big inheritance bead. What is Heavenly Universe Divine Mantra? Three-Eye King already took out a black spear. He is preparing to fight. A crystal whip appeared in Bai Suxin's hand. Ling Lei is also holding two sabers in his hands. These experts are preparing to fight over the Heavenly Universe Divine Mantra. That is a very powerful Heavenly Law Divine Rune, a character condensed from Heavenly Law Divine Rune. That fire character should be the earliest fire attribute Heavenly Law Divine Rune. Ling Lei said in low voice. Three-Eye King, let's join hands and capture him. Bai Suxin shouted coldly. You want to snatch it? Don't forget, this is my territory. Also, this Heavenly Universe Divine Mantra is not mine. She believes that even if Qin Yun is no longer here, it should belong to Xiao Yume. That brat is already finished. This fire character is an ownerless object. We will obtain it based on our own ability. How about it? Ling Lei said, White Sun King, my son died here, and this is all because you sheltered that brat. I will settle this debt with you. At this moment, everyone suddenly cried out in alarm. Qin Yun appeared inside the Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation. Just as he came out, the fire character suddenly became small. then turned into a light beam and entered his forehead. Oh! Qin Yun let out a loud cry. "Brother!" Xiao Yuanmei hastily shouted. "Are you all right?" "I'm fine." In that moment of pain, Qin Yun completely mastered the heavenly universe divine mantra. He discovered that his heavenly blood and heavenly Tao are very similar. They are very compatible with the heavenly universe divine mantra. With just a thought, he saw a blue fire character appear on his palm. This fire character can burst out very strong flame power. "Old bastard, I will use you to test the heavenly universe divine mantra." Qin Yun attacked Ling Lei from inside the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation. A blue fire character instantly flew out and branded on Ling Lei's body. Ling Lei's body suddenly ignited with intense blue flame. After Qin Yun used this character, his body swayed a bit. He almost couldn't stand steadily. This move consumed a lot of blood spirit power. It almost drained his entire body dry. This heavenly universe divine mantra is truly a ghost thing that sucks blood and devours soul. Qin Yun felt that the blood in his body was almost sucked dry just now. Ling Lei's entire body ignited with blue flame. He loudly screamed in pain. Three-Eye King gnashed his teeth as he watched. This formidable heavenly universe divine mantra originally belonged to him, but now it is in someone else's hands. This caused him to feel very sad in his heart. "Pa!" Bai Suxin suddenly lashed out with her whip. When the crystal whip lashed out, the end of the whip turned into a sharp knife and crazily hacked Ling Lei's body. The whip and knife madly danced and let out schwa 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 sound. It is like cutting vegetables high up in the air, cutting Ling Lei's body into pieces. After being cut into pieces, Ling Lei's body started burning even faster. What caused people to be shocked is that Bai Suxin's crystal whip is also burning with this kind of blue flame. "Quickly give me the whip," Qin Yun lightly shouted. Bai Suxin immediately threw the whip to Qin Yun. After Qin Yun caught it, he absorbed the blue flame back into his body. Otherwise, the runes inside the whip would be damaged. Bai Suxin saw that her whip is fine, and Qin Yun is still alive and relaxed a lot. Then she looked at Three-Eye King and said, "Three-Eye King, do you still want to take back your inheritance?" Three-Eye King is now scared to death. Ling Lei is dead. If he is surrounded and attacked, he will die without a doubt. That inheritance is not fated with me. It is not mine. Everyone also saw that if it was not for this expert, we would not have been able to witness the appearance of the heavenly universe divine mantra. Three-Eye King calmly said, "Those divine generals don't even dare to let out a fart. Even those divine generals who rebuked Qin Yun earlier want to kneel down and admit their mistake." Three-Eye King said again, "In comparison, Heaven Law Pavilion's people are simply trash. Is still this expert who is awesome. Although I have 3 eyes, I have eyes but can't see, I look down on people with my snobbish eyes. I ask this expert to forgive this humble one. A great person will not stoop to petty people's offenses." The Grand Three-Eye King is apologizing to this extent. People feel that it is inconceivable. "So long as this matter doesn't spread out, you can all leave," Qin Yun indifferently said. "He has consumed a lot of energy. He doesn't have any power to kill. After all, he killed Heaven Law Pavilion's Devil Quartz Dean. If this matter spreads out, Heaven Law Pavilion might declare war on White Sun Heavenly City. Naturally, the main person who killed them is Bai Suxin. So Qin Yun is doing this out of consideration for her. Majority of the people here are divine generals and older generation experts of the King Mansion. They naturally won't spread this matter. But to ensure that nothing goes wrong, Bai Suxin made them sign soul contract one by one before letting them leave. Chapter 2259. Qin Yun is now completely powerless. He fell into Bai Suxin's delicate and fragrant embrace. He wanted to struggle, but he felt that Bai Suxin is hugging him very tightly. Bai Suxin held Qin Yun and floated behind the curtain. She sat on a large chair and let Qin Yun sit on her lap. "Why are you so weak?" Bai Suxin's soft and urgent voice sounded Her lily-white hands promptly reached under Qin Yun's clothes and pressed on his abdomen. Xiao Yuanmei is watching from the side with smiling face. Apparently, she is very happy. That white sun war god has left the hall. Only Qin Yun, Xiao Yuanmei, and Bai Suxin are left in the hall. Mother Xian, how can you let him sit on your lap? Xiao Yuanmei said with charming smile. He is my little big brother. Yuanmei, no matter how I look at him, he is younger than you. He should be your little brother. Bai Suxin said with gentle smile, and then took off her mask. Under the mask is a beautiful face like fine jade, delicate and elegant, soft and beautiful like water. Seeing this, Qin Yun secretly praised a few times in his heart. Her beautiful eyes flickered. They're as beautiful as a breeze passing through a lake. Now she's also staring at Qin Yun. Little queen, put me down. Qin Yun recovered a bit of strength and promptly shouted. He wanted to struggle. Little big brother, you helped me a lot this time. If not, this place would have been destroyed. Bai Suxin said with gentle smile. Her lily-white hands are still pinching Qin Yun's abdomen. Qin Yun is now in the appearance of a young boy, so Bai Suxin doesn't have any ill feelings towards him. Qin Yun cursed Xiao Yuanmei in his heart. If he had changed back to his original appearance earlier, White Sun King would not have taken advantage of him. Little queen, I am actually an adult. You are making me very embarrassed. Quickly put me down. Qin Yun said again. After turning into a young boy, he is 2 heads shorter than the tall Bai Suxin. His body is also a bit smaller. He doesn't know if Bai Suxin is overflowing with love or not. She actually warmly hugged him in her bosom. It's all right, Bai Suxin said with gentle smile. How about this? You call me Mother Xian like you and Mei. Go away. Qin Yun rolled his eyes. Xin Yang, my brother is an adult. I turned him into a youngster. Xiao Yuanmei giggled and said, You better put him down. Stop fooling around. Your big brother is really weak right now. I'm helping him recover. Bai Suxin's eyes were as gentle as water, and white light shone on her hands. Qin Yun also felt a very warm and special energy enter his abdomen. Bai Suxin came from the White Sun Divine World, so she definitely grasped the White Sun Divine World's special heritage. It's the power of the sun. Could it be the White Divine Sun? Qin Yun suddenly found it somewhat familiar. He had come into contact with the primal chaos divine sun, the divine universe purple sun, and the myriad realms divine sun, so he was more familiar with the energy of the various suns. He could immediately sense that there might be a very strong little divine sun in Bai Suxin's body. He quickly controlled the nether sun to absorb the divine sun power Bai Suxin sent over. Big brother, what's your name? Bai Suxin looked at Qin Yun's handsome face and smiled gently. Then, she touched it gently. Qin Yun feels that he, a grand 9-sun palace king, is lying in a woman's bosom. It is very improper. He has an indescribable feeling of resistance. Remember, don't call me little queen from now on. You are a naughty child. Why do you like to pretend to be an adult? Bai Suxin said. Little queen, you will regret what you did just now. Just wait and see. Qin Yun said with smile. What? Didn't I just kill Devil Court's Dean Ling Lei? Didn't you say before that I was not domineering enough? I will show you how domineering I am. Bai Suxin's beautiful eyes are full of resentment. She said with slight annoyance, Why can't you be like Yuanmei and be a bit more obedient? Qin Yun finds this somewhat funny. How is Xiao Yuanmei obedient? He thought that he would need a rest for 2 to 3 days to completely recover, but Bai Suxin sent over White Sun Divine Power, allowing him to recover very quickly. In less than half an hour, he has already recovered to his peak. During this time, he tried to struggle free from Bai Suxin's fragrant bosom several times, but she held him tightly. Xiao Yun, if you don't take advantage of her, you will be letting me down. Ling Yun urged him several times. She also felt very uncomfortable. Great beauty, Yun. Do you really think this woman is a silly and sweet girl? Qin Yun lightly snorted in his heart and said, Just now, she probed my body many times. She is very shrewd. Qin Yun has already recovered, but he is still being hugged by Bai Suxin. Bai Suxin poured a lot of White Sun Divine Power into his body, At the same time, she secretly used very strong mental power to probe his body. Fortunately, his nether son has enough defense to block Bai Suxin's mental power probing. I thought she really likes you. That's why she's so good to you. Turns out she was just pretending? Ling Yin is very surprised. This woman is King White's son. She is not easy to deal with. Qin Yin feels that if this continues, Bai Suxin will really probe something, so he can only place his hand on Bai Suxin's thigh. Qin Yin lightly pinched Bai Suxin's thigh through her thin gauze long skirt. He originally thought that after doing this, Bai Suxin would throw him away. He did not expect that she would only lightly frown. Bai Suxin's lily-white hand is still pressed on Qin Yin's abdomen. It seems like she's not willing to give up. She wants to probe something. Little queen, do you want me to give you a knife and let you cut open my stomach? You can take a good look at what is inside my stomach. While speaking, Qin Yin secretly exerted force again and pinched her thigh. Little big brother, I am just a bit curious about you. Bai Suxin lightly smiled and said, All right, you have her covered. Bai Suxin finally let Qin Yin leave her embrace. Qin Yin feels like he just escaped from death. He said with smile, Little queen, what are you looking for in my stomach? Xiao Yuanmei also smiled, then used her small mirror to change Qin Yin's appearance back to normal. Bai Suxin really did not expect that the young man she just hugged would now become tall and handsome. Seeing Qin Yin looking at her with grin, a faint blush appeared on Bai Suxin's beautiful and gentle face. You brother and sister are bullying me. I will ignore you. Bai Suxin curled her lips and lightly pouted. Then she turned her head away. Her face is filled with hidden bitterness. I already told you to let me go. Little queen, thank you very much for your considerate care. Qin Yin said with mischievous smile. Bai Suxin's cherry lips slightly curled up and said in annoyance, Then how are you going to thank me? Are you just going to say it? You have heavenly law inheritance pearl, right? I will help you break that heavenly law seal. Qin Yin said. You said before that you would help me break it. That doesn't count. Bai Suxin's beautiful eyes flashed with mischievousness as she said, All right, then how do you want me to thank you? Qin Yin said, Speak. Just as Bai Suxin was about to speak, Xiao Yuanmei suddenly said, Brother, big sister, and others are coming. They should be near White's Sun Heavenly City. I will go pick them up. How do you know they are coming? Qin Yin asked. I can sense it. They came very quickly. They should be together with those little sisters from Divine Moon Race. Xiao Yuanmei said, Yuanmei, take 20 White Sun War God with you. I also want to see Divine Moon Race as soon as possible. Bai Suxin said. All right. Xiao Yuanmei bounced and jumped out of the palace hall. After Xiao Yuanmei left, Bai Suxin's eyes flickered with charming intent. She elegantly stood up and arrived beside Qin Yin. She suddenly poked Qin Yin's abdomen with her slender jade finger and said with smile, I want to see what is hidden inside. What can be inside? Qin Yin dryly laughed a few times. Bai Suxin suddenly took off the clothes covering her abdomen, revealing her jade-like beautiful and slender waist. Even her small belly button can be seen. Qin Yin jumped in fright. He promptly took 2 steps back and said in deep voice, Queen, please behave yourself a bit. I'm a married man. What are you thinking? Bai Suxin pursed her lips in a smile and said, Look at how scared you are. You are really afraid of your wife. As she spoke, her belly button flickered with white light. A ball of white light gradually became bigger, and finally a fist-sized white light pearl appeared. What is this? Qin Yin's brows jumped. He knows what this is. It is a very small white sundae, my life divine crystal. This is a white sun. I cultivated it. Bai Suxin's jade-like beautiful face suddenly became solemn. I can sense that you also have a similar life divine crystal. I don't have the same life divine crystal as you. Qin Yin indeed has a nether sun, but it is completely different from a white sundae. I can sense it very strongly. Quickly let me see. Maybe we can cultivate together and become stronger. Bai Suxin urged. Little brother, be a bit more aware. Don't force me to take action. Qin Yin dryly laughed a few times. Little queen, I do have a very special life divine crystal, but I am certain that we are not on the same path. It is impossible for us to cultivate together. So let's forget about it. When I help you recover just now, you absorb it very quickly. It means that you are not resisting, yet you still say that we are not on the same path. Bai Suxin rebuked. What? Are you afraid that I will take advantage of you? Qin Yun nodded and said, Yes, I am afraid that you will take advantage of me. Bai Suxin bit her lips and said with light smile, What kind of advantage do you have to take? You won't die even if you let me see it. Retract your Bai Yang first. Qin Yun said, I'll let you investigate. Is that okay? All right. Bai Suxin pressed the white sun on her stomach and then took it back. Then she arrived in front of Qin Yun and put her hand under Qin Yun's clothes. Qin Yun took 2 steps back and shouted, You don't need to put your hand inside. You can see through clothes. But I just want to put my hand on your stomach. Bai Suxin's beautiful eyes seemed to contain a mischievous smile. Haven't you touched enough? Qin Yun curled his lips and said, You were just a young boy just now. I still haven't touched you yet. While speaking, she lifted up Qin Yun's clothes and placed her lily-white hand on Qin Yun's stomach. Chapter 2260. Bai Suxin's lily-white hands are rubbing Qin Yun's abdomen. She is still smiling sweetly. Little big brother, you asked me to massage you before. What do you think of my technique? Little queen, quickly check. Qin Yun said with smile. Honestly speaking, your technique is pretty good. I am very satisfied. Bai Suxin's soft hands suddenly overflowed with white light, causing Qin Yun to feel a gentle warm current fiercely entering his abdomen. What are you doing? Qin Yun doesn't know why, but he is feeling somewhat panicked. Don't be afraid, I won't harm you. If I truly wanted to harm you, with my strength, you would not be my opponent. Bai Suxin said with smile. Qin Yun's nether sun is very important. Even now, he is doing his best to protect it, not letting any external power attack it. Nether sun has also formed a very strong defense. It can block or even absorb all kinds of energy. But facing Bai Suxin's energy, Nether sun did not defend at all. Instead, it allowed the energy to enter its body. So it is Nether sun. It actually appeared inside a person's body. How rare. Bai Suxin's beautiful face is filled with shock. She feels very surprised. Then what did you think I would have? Compared to your white sun, my nether sun should be nothing, right? Qin Yun said with smile. Bai Suxin's hand has not left Qin Yun's abdomen. It is still moving upwards until it arrived at Qin Yun's heart. Just like before, Qin Yun very quickly sensed a very warm feeling rushing into his heart. This is Bai Suxin's energy pouring into his body. It is a very strong yang heart. Bai Suxin feels very surprised again. Little queen, this shouldn't be considered rare, right? You have white sun and I have nether sun. You shouldn't be surprised. Qin Yun said. No, nether sun is very difficult to control. Bai Suxin shook her head and said, Although some people captured nether sun and fused it into their body, no one has been able to completely control it. Those people were all devoured by nether sun in the end. Qin Yun could not completely control nether sun before, but now he can. Along with his body and soul becoming stronger and stronger, he is no longer afraid of being devoured by nether sun. He can stimulate the formidable power of nether Sunday. Little queen, you can take your hand away. Qin Yun could sense Bai Suxin's gentle hands moving about under her clothes. She was groping and pinching everywhere. So he quickly said, What are you doing? Bai Suxin said with serious expression, I will continue probing. Maybe I will discover something. No, you have already discovered nether sun and my sun core. You said before that you can help me cultivate and become stronger. What is going on? Qin Yun said. Even though Qin asked her to take her hand away, she is still touching Qin Yun's body. Bai Suxin said, I think that my white sun and your nether sun can be cultivated together. It will be beneficial for both of us. Qin Yun suddenly patted his chest and slapped Bai Suxin's hand. He said with a smile, Take your hand away first, then we'll talk. Bye. Yin said bye. I said. Suxin said. Bai Suxin said. I said, bye. Qin Yun looked at Bai Suxin's impressive body and said, You think I don't dare? Bai Suxin's beautiful eyes are filled with charm. There is a hint of playfulness in them. She said with a gentle and charming smile, "Of course you don't dare. I can tell. Little queen, I will give you one more chance. Quickly take your hand away, otherwise I won't be polite." Qinyan doesn't understand why there are so many female hooligans and why he always runs into them. He can't help but suspect that these female hooligans think he is easy to bully. That's why they want a foot after giving him an inch. Bai Suxin's jade-like beautiful face has a complacent and charming faint smile. Her eyes are filled with ridicule as she looked at Qinyan. Her hands are pinching even more wantonly. "I want to see how you will be rude to me." Bai Suxin is truly not afraid of Qinyan. She believes that Qinyan won't dare to do anything to her. Qinyan inhaled a deep breath and quickly used the consummate skill he has not used for many years, Dragon Claw Hand. He used just the right amount of power to grab Bai Suxin. Bai Suxin was hit. She is immediately stunned. Her mind is blank. She really did not expect that Qinyan would be rude to her. After being absent-minded, she became extremely embarrassed and angry. Her delicate body trembled and a white energy wave surged out. She pushed with her jade-like palm and sent Qinyan flying. Qinyan was sent flying. His body heavily crashed on the wall of the hall and then fell on the ground, motionless. Little big brother." Bai Suxin saw Qinyan lying on the ground motionless and immediately realized that her attack was too heavy. She quickly rushed over and arrived beside Qinyan. Qinyan's eyes are closed. Although he is still breathing, his aura is very weak. Moreover, blue blood is flowing out of the corner of his mouth. Bai Suxin quickly checked Qinyan's body situation, and immediately her beautiful face turned pale in fright. Especially when she checked Nether's sun, she discovered that it has disappeared. Moreover, she can't check Qinyan's meridians. She can't even sense any soul fluctuation. "Little big brother, don't scare me. I was wrong." Bai Suxin's mood is very bad. She is very sad. She quickly channeled a large amount of white sun divine power into Qinyan's body, hoping that it can help Qinyan recover faster. I am very cold," Qinyan suddenly said with trembling voice. His body is also shivering nonstop. "I will help you drive away the cold." Seeing that Qinyan can still speak, Bai Suxin felt relieved. She once again channeled warm, white sun divine power into Qinyan's body in a flurry. "My little wife, quickly hug me. I am very cold." Qinyan's eyes are closed. As if he is in a nightmare, he is babbling nonsense. "Little wife?" Bai Suxin immediately thought that Qinyan might be missing his wife. Qinyan continued to keep his eyes closed, saying that he is very cold and that he wants a hug. Bai Suxin can only carry Qinyan and leave the hall. She arrived at her fragrant room and placed Qinyan on a large soft bed. Then she also laid down and tightly hugged Qinyan, channeling white sun divine power into him. "Little wife, my soul is about to scatter. I am very sad," Qinyan said in pain. "I can't kiss you anymore. Don't hold on," Bai Suxin said anxiously. Then she probed Qinyan's soul, but she couldn't find anything. This made her even more anxious. She bit her lips and pretended to say, "You can't leave me. Husband, you must always accompany me." After saying that, her heart immediately hardened and she kissed Qinyan. She also wanted to use this kind of method to help Qinyan stabilize his soul. Because she accidentally injured Qinyan, she felt extremely guilty. Just like that, she, the high and mighty White Sun Duke, kissed a person she just met not long ago in a daze. After kissing for a while, Bai Suxin felt that Qinyan's body is no longer trembling, so she slowly got up and looked at him. Qinyan opened his eyes and said with a smile, "Little queen, thank you for saving me." Seeing Qinyan smile, Bai Suxin was startled. She immediately thought that Qinyan might be pretending. Bai Suxin waved her hand, wanting to attack again. I'm going to die. My soul is going to scatter." Qinyan immediately covered his heart and shouted, "Little wife wants to kill me. It makes my heart hurt so much. You scoundrel!" Bai Suxin snorted coquettishly, then vigorously pinched Qin Yun's waist, gritted her teeth, and said, "How can you tease me like this?" Qin Yun felt a little pain from being pinched. He quickly shouted, "If you pinch me again, I will counterattack." When she thought of Qin Yun's counterattack, Bai Suxin immediately withdrew her hand. She bit her lips with a bitter expression and wanted to get off the bed. Qin Yun quickly grabbed her hand and said with a smile, "Little queen, you took advantage of me so many times before, yet you still want a foot after giving me an inch. Do you really want to leave like this?" Bai Suxin also knew that she went too far. When she saw how Qin Yun was so resistant to contact her, she thought that Qin Yun was really afraid of her. She felt that Qin Yun was an honest person. She felt that it was very interesting to tease this kind of good-looking honest person, so she could not stop. She really did not expect that when this honest person was not honest, he would be so hard to guard against. "Little brother, I was wrong. You can't tell anyone about what happened today." Bai Suxin could only admit defeat. Qin Yun let go of her and said with a smile, "Little queen, will we still cooperate and cultivate together?" "Of course we will cooperate," Bai Suxin said with light anger. "I suffered a great loss just now. I want to get it back from you." Qin Yun lied down on the bed and said with mischievous smile, "I won't cooperate with you to cultivate. Who knows what kind of sneaky attack you will use? If you damage my nether son, I won't even have a place to cry." "Is your nether son really all right?" Bai Suxin thought about how she did not hold back just now and felt very apologetic. "It's all right. If you don't believe me, you can touch it." Qin Yun lifted up his clothes and revealed his lean and muscular abdomen and said with a smile. Bai Suxin originally wanted to reach out her hand and touch it, but recalling what happened just now, she became timid. "It's good that you were fine. You scared me to death just now," Bai Suxin said with light anger. "You are truly a scoundrel. You pretended so well and you even teased me like that." Qin Yun said, "Who was the one who played rogue with me first? Just let bygones be bygones. Don't mention this to Yuan Mei." Bai Suxin warned and then took out her white sundae. Qin Yun looked at her little white son and said, "I already said I won't cooperate with you to cultivate." Bai Suxin said with light smile, "If my white son works with your nether son, maybe it can make your nether son even stronger and even increase its special ability." "Oh, really? Don't lie to an honest person like me." Qin Yun feels that his nether son still has a lot of room for improvement. "Really, I won't lie to you," Bai Suxin very earnestly said. "Quickly come. If everything goes smoothly, my white son can use your nether son to evolve. It will be very beneficial to both of us." Qin Yun is still somewhat hesitant. He is worried that some problem might occur. Chapter 2261. Qin Yun's heart is somewhat moved. He truly hopes that his nether son can become stronger. If it also has some special ability, it would be for the best. "If my nether son evolves, what kind of special ability will it have?" Qin Yun asked. He doesn't want to casually cultivate together with Bai Suxin before he is clear about it. Bai Suxin shook her head and said, "I really don't know, because it is two different divine sons cultivating together. Different divine sons will evolve and produce different abilities." Qin Yun has never heard of this kind of thing. He doubtfully asked, "Is nether son also a kind of divine son?" There are many kinds of divine sons. Nether sun, white sun, primal chaos, divine Sunday. There is also myriad worlds divine sun from divine desolate. They're all kind of divine sun. Bai Suxin nodded and said, "My white sun can only evolve by cultivating with different divine suns. There won't be any problem, right? My nether sun has accompanied me for a very long time. If there's a problem, I don't know how many years it will take for me to cultivate it back." Qin Yun has never cultivated like this before, so he is very worried. "There won't be any problem. Little big brother, don't forget that my white sun has very strong recovery ability. If there is any accident, I will definitely let your nether sun recover immediately," Bai Suxin said with a smile. "All right." Qin Yun also feels that he should give it a try with Bai Suxin. Bai Suxin suddenly revealed a kind of charming and bashful appearance. She looked around with moving infatuation and said with low laugh, "We kissed just now. Don't be afraid that I will harm you. Little queen, just now I kissed you. You don't understand anything. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, Oomph. I have never kissed anyone before. Naturally, I don't understand. Bai Suxin rebuked and looked at Qin Yun with hidden bitterness. Both of them are sitting on the bed. Bai Suxin has already released her white sun, and it is floating in front of her. It's your turn. Release your nether sun. Bai Suxin said. Qin Yun stored all the spirit Xian Dao images inside the nether sun and then released it. Those divine, profound Dao images also needed to be cultivated further. If he could become stronger in this kind of special cultivation, that would be for the best. Qin Yun's nether sun is black. After it came out, it released a very weak, twisting power that caused the surrounding space to sink into slight distortion. Furthermore, the nether sun has a very strong devouring power. When the white light released by the white sun shines on the nether sun, the white light directly distorts and coils around the nether sun before being slowly absorbed. After Qin Yun released his nether sun, it was much smaller than Bai Suxin's white Sunday. This is also the reason why their cultivation levels are different. You're just a profound god, and you're already so powerful. So it's related to this. Bai Suxin exclaimed in surprise. If you become a great god, a heavenly god, or a sacred god, how strong would it be? I don't know. I am currently stuck at this stage, temporarily unable to break through. Qin Yun sighed and said, he was unable to open the 10th profound god Dao meridian, which was the profound god meridian of the heavenly Dao statue. Reportedly, he needs the help of Divine Moon Clan's great emperor to fuse with formidable Divine Moon bloodline divine origin to make his body even stronger. Only then would he have enough conditions to open 10th mysterious divine Dao vein. I will eventually break through. It is just a matter of time. I will begin. My cultivation is higher than yours. Let me do it. Bai Suxin lightly smiled. Qin Yun nodded and warned, be careful. Don't cause any big problem. Don't worry. Nothing will happen. Bai Suxin is very confident and then controlled her white sun to become bigger. After the white sun became bigger, it floated towards Qin Yun's nether Sunday. Hey, what are you doing? Qin Yun saw the white sun become bigger and suddenly shouted in worry. Cultivate, Bai Suxin said. Calm down. After the white sun arrived, it collided with the nether sun and fused together. Finally, they turned into black and white dual colors and started slowly revolving. It looks like a black fish and a white fish are revolving around each other. As it spun, a very special energy aura appeared. Is this cultivation? Qin Yun said with frown. Your nether sun and my white sun are cultivating. We can't sense it for now. Bai Suxin's beautiful eyes flickered with happiness. She said with light smile, looks like it is going very smoothly. Little queen, don't you need to do anything else? Qin Yun is still somewhat worried. No need. Next white sun and nether sun will cultivate by themselves. When we take them back, we will be able to sense any change. Bai Suxin said. Then when can we separate? Qin Yun is sitting on the bed, propping up his chin and looking at the floating black and white suns intertwining. He is very worried. Bai Suxin is also on the bed. She crawled to Qin Yun's side and said with smile, what are you worried about? Look at me. I'm not worried at all. I am worried that we won't be able to separate at that time. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, if we really can't separate, then I will give white sun to you. Is that okay? Bai Suxin poked Qin Yun's waist and said with smile, Yuamei's little brother, you are a very interesting man and also very awesome. Qin Yun rolled his eyes at her and said, don't touch me randomly. Don't forget the pain after the scar has healed. I am prepared this time. I'm not afraid of you. Bai Suxin sat in front of Qin Yun, straightened her back and said, I, Bai Suxin, will never fall in the same pit twice. Qin Yun's attention is completely focused on white sun and nether sun. Yet Bai Suxin seems to want to tease him. He really can't understand why this white sun king is so senseless that he keeps teasing him. Then what do you want to do? Qin Yun glanced at her and asked, I will definitely go to God Desolate in the future. Do you have territory in God Desolate? How about you take me in? Bai Suxin said. This taking the entire white sun heavenly city? Qin Yin shook his head and said, my small temple can't accommodate so many people. Taking me in is enough. After blue heavenly universe is finished, white sun heavenly city will also be gone. Bai Suxin suddenly grabbed Qin Yun's hand and said with smile, you must be a very powerful person in God Desolate. I will follow you for a period of time. Qin Yun held her hand and gently pulled her over, letting her lean on his body. Little queen, do you really want me to take you in? Qin Yun suddenly felt that it is not bad to take Bai Suxin back to Nine Yang Divine Palace. If he doesn't want Bai Suxin, she will definitely be roped in by Guanghan Palace. Although Bai Suxin looks charming and mischievous now, when she is serious, she is a very strong woman. Her strength is unfathomable. Little brother, we must keep our distance. Bai Suxin leaned into Qin Yun's embrace. Her beautiful green eyes flickered with a flirtatious feeling. Then she promptly struggled free from Qin Yun's embrace. Qin Yun spread his hands and said, I am willing to take you in. But if we have any problems in the future, just say it directly. Don't get touchy. Bai Suxin suddenly took out a large blue pearl. It is as big as a watermelon and said, this is my heavenly law inheritance pearl. I have a total of 3. This is the biggest. It is much bigger than that idiot three-eyed king's. Qin Yun looked at the inheritance pearl and said in amazement. Indeed. Bai Suxin giggled and said, quickly help me open it. Not now. I need Nether Sun's power. Qin Yun shook his head and said, let's wait. Bai Suxin looked at Nether Sun and White Sun and said with smile, then let's wait. Anyway, this kind of cultivation won't last for long. Won't last for long? What's the use? Qin Yun thought it would be very long. We will often have to cultivate like this, so I plan to go to God Desolate and stay by your side for a period of time. Bai Suxin said with smile. So that's how it is. Qin Yun also understands why this little queen wants to follow him. He lightly groaned and said, you won't suck my Nether Sun dry, right? He did have this worry. Although Bai Suxin was Duke White's son, she was still rather open. Perhaps it was because she had never met a man like Qin Yun in many years, so she, who had been bored for too long, dared to tease Qin Yun. Little brother, why don't you trust me? I gave my very important first kiss to you. Bai Suxin pursed her lips and grumbled with her beautiful eyes. Qin Yun did not say a word. He is earnestly looking at Nether Sun and White Sunday. From time to time, he will release his formidable mental power to probe the mysterious spirit Tao image inside Nether Sunday. He is very worried that an accident might happen because he has many precious mysterious spirit Tao images inside the Nether Sun. After several hours, Nether Sun and White Sun finally separated at night. After separating, the size of the Nether Sun didn't change much. Qin Yun immediately took back the Nether Sun. After the Nether Sun returned to his body, he felt a kind of warm feeling. Moreover, he could also hear his heartbeat. There's a heartbeat inside the Nether Sun? After Qin Yun sensed it, his face became filled with shock because this is something he never felt before. Little brother, is there any change in your Nether Sun? Bai Suxin's expression is also filled with astonishment. Her White Sun seems to have changed. My Nether Sun seems to have a heartbeat. Qin Yun's expression is filled with disbelief. My White Sun also has a heartbeat. Bai Suxin said with smile. Very good. Our Nether Sun and White Sun have both cultivated a heart. Qin Yun once again probed deeply and suddenly sensed a warm white divine power rushing out of the Nether Sun. It was actually the White Sun divine power, the kind of White Sun divine power that had a very strong recovery ability. Little queen, does your White Sun have any other ability? Qin Yun asked. No. Bai Suxin shook her head. Mine does, but it is only that kind of recovery power. Qin Yun said with smile. It seems like what you said is correct. Of course, I don't want to lie to you. Bai Suxin also relaxed a lot and said with smile. Release your White Sun divine power and let me see. Qin Yun promptly controlled the White Sun divine power and condensed it in his hand. He asked, how is it compared to yours? Bai Suxin looked at the white sun divine power. Her elegant brows slightly creased. She shook her head and said, "This is not white sun divine power. Are you sure you are not mistaken? You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.